Alright, welcome everyone to the Creeping Darkness Session 1. This is a Dragonbane multi-session adventure. I'm not sure how long this will take. It could be as few as 2 sessions and as many as 5 or 6. Kind of depends on how things go, how much you want to explore and do, and kind of how the dice rolls go. You can probably speed run this, but you would miss a whole lot. I also don't want to go too slow. I want to make sure that we have a good pace, but I don't want it to feel rushed for anyone. So if anyone is to the point where it's like, hey, this is too slow, let me know. Or if it's like, slow down or going too fast, let me know as well. We'll try and keep this kind of right where everyone likes it, in that sweet spot, so be sure to let me know. We've got a couple of seasoned adventurers with us today, and we've got at least one new adventurer. I don't think Illyriana has ventured forth yet, so why don't we let me just kind of lay the groundwork for where we're starting at, and I'll let you guys sort of describe what we're doing. Let me pull up my notes here, and this music is perfect for this part because we are in a nice quiet little town at a tavern. Pull this up. The day begins like any other day in Nordrose. The merchants have opened their doors, and the hoarse cries of the street sellers advertising their wares can be heard. Around noon, 3 long blasts from a horn echo through the streets of the city. This is a signal for all of the city's residents to gather in the great square to hear an announcement. Before long, a considerable crowd has packed the square, including each and every one of you. A herald from the king, seated atop an impressive steed wearing the king's colors, green and gold, stands before you. He unrolls a large parchment and reads it aloud. Post an image of this. As he prepares to read this, Reginald, who are you standing next to? You may not know everyone here. I think Reginald has adventured with Sir Aurelius and Kif.
And Brightwing.
And Brightwing, yep. Yes, and Brightwing, just not Illyriana. Who would Reginald be standing next to as the King's Herald begins to read from this scroll?
Well, Reginald's a rather timid duck, so I think he'd probably be standing near Aurelius. He definitely isn't very strong or useful in a fight, so he tends to stay near the knight.
And Aurelius, are you standing near anyone else or just next to Reginald?
Yeah, I think Aurelius is quite fond of Reginald, so I mean, Reginald would be his prince, companion, but he does know the other two. We all went on Seeking Tower, right?
Right. Or no, was it Lindworm Cavern?
It was Lindworm.
Yeah. Lindworm Cavern.
Yeah.
So then, Kif, who are you standing next to?
I feel like if we weren't already together beforehand, as I saw the crowd gathering and I saw anyone I recognized, I likely would have just saddled up kind of next to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, if Aurelius or Reginald had a spot next to them, I probably would have just come up and said hello.
And Brightwing, as you gather into the crowd, you see some of your companions from an earlier adventure. You notice Reginald right away as a fellow Mallard, and he gestures you over. Next to him, you see this strange woman that you have not seen before. This woman is Illyriana, and Illyriana is an elf warden, and there's a large wolf next to her. Illyriana, why don't you maybe introduce yourself to the group?
So, Filthy from her travels in the woods and where she normally stays, she is more feral than most elves that you've met. Fang at her side is not impressed by the city. He is very confidently and nonchalantly lying next to him, head on paws, eyes only slightly open, but she got a longbow strung across her back. What you're pretty sure is studded leather armor underneath all of that mud. She came into town for supplies and to trade some pelts, and the bell rang and people started gathering around her.
As you come out, you see a group of adventurers that, they've got the look about them. You've recognized this look. These are those rare individuals that don't settle for a life of farming or a life of selling wares as a merchant, but these are those who have sought their fortunes the hard way through exploration, through combat in some cases, but certainly through courage.
Fools, got it.
Exactly. The herald unrolls the scroll and cries out in a very loud and tense voice. News from the Jotun Mountains! The dragon Hercarax the Vile has taken up residence in the Cave of Echoes. Its evil witchcraft has already shrouded the area in darkness, and bands of orcs have been observed moving down from the mountains. The darkness is expected to reach Nordrose here within 1 week, and the city will likely be subject to attack by Nightkin raiding parties and even the avaricious dragon itself. His Majesty, King Nevold VI, lets it hereby be known that any hero who slays Hercarax will receive the princely sum of 1,000 gold pieces, and will furthermore be granted a barony. The citizens stand in silent shock for a few moments as the import of the announcement they have just heard sinks in, and then the square descends into chaos. Some decide to flee south, whilst others fetch weapons. A few brave souls start making preparations to head north to defeat the dragon, but most simply return home, shaken by fear. The central square is just chaotic at this time. There are people moving everywhere. There are people screaming, shouting, "Where are my children? Gather up everything we can. We've got to go now." And clearly, this has thrown the entire realm into chaos. Reginald, a young lad, comes up. This looks like an orphan, barefoot. Pants are bedraggled around the ends. The shirt is dirty and stitched and patched in several places. His hair is somewhat filthy, and there's tears in his eyes. He's got his left hand in a fist, clutching something. And he looks at you and says, "Sir, someone wishes to speak with you at the tavern, the King's Cuckoo. Won't you go?"
Who wishes to speak with us?
The lady with the bones. She wishes a word with you. She paid me a mighty price to fetch you. And he holds out his hand, and you can see a copper coin, somewhat tarnished, in his hand. But this is a treasure to this young lad. He would have had to scrimp and save and beg for hours to get even this meager copper coin. And he knows that this will likely buy him an apple or something to eat today, which for him is more important than anything else. "Won't you go?"
Were they speaking?
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, were they just speaking privately with each other, or are we all hearing this?
You would all hear it. So he's not attempting to be a private
Gotcha.
at all, but he was told to go and find a wise duck, and this looks to be the wisest duck he could find. And then he looks at Brightwing. "Oh, begging your pardon. Perhaps it's for you, sir. Well, both of you come. Please, follow me." And he begins to slowly move into the crowd. He's getting jostled and bumped as people are moving past him quickly.
I look to Brightwing and Reginald. If they're looking to follow it, I don't see why we shouldn't go listen to whatever this guy's got to say.
Yeah, I think Reginald agrees. This might be important.
As we're walking, I do turn to the others and start talking about the herald and ask if they think it might be any relation to the lindworm uh, uh, worm that we had already taken out.
Oh, give me a myths and legends roll.
Oh. Sorry, just remembering where my sheet is. Here it is.
You can click on your token or go to the Actors tab on the upper right.
Myths and legends. Roll.
Do you want to push that?
No. I'll probably
So
just turn
you,
to the others.
Yeah, you don't have any idea if it is related, which is probably why you asked. But you know that you did face down a lindworm, and it was quite formidable. Could this be the same thing? Who do you ask specifically? Everyone or anyone in particular?
Yeah, I'm asking out to the group. The ones that I'm familiar with, at least.
Let me have Brightwing make a Myths and Legends roll. Oh boy. You are Brightwing. You're convinced that that must have been the same beast, and you slew this beast. So the king must have bad information. That lindworm was a terrible drake. As far as this strange shadow that could be spreading across the land, this quote unquote creeping darkness, you have no idea what that could reference, if it other than perhaps the evil menace that it might spread. You think that perhaps that's a metaphor, maybe not a literal darkness.
Could Reginald reference his Myths and Legends book that he bought just recently?
Yes, indeed you can.
No, Brightwing, no. I think you are remembering the wrong passage, and Reginald will flip through his Myths and Legends of the Misty Vale book and find the passage that would describe this.
So you know a few things. You know that that there is an old story that talks about a shadow dragon, a rare abomination that only hatches once every 1,000 years. And it is said that wherever a shadow dragon settles, a palpable darkness begins to spread outwards from that place like a dense fog. The sun's rays cannot penetrate this darkness, and day is turned into unending night. An unfortunate consequence of this is that the nightkin, creatures like trolls, orcs, and goblins, which normally would avoid daylight, leave the safety of their caves and shadowy forests to raid the lands of more civilized people. This has often been thought to be but a myth. Every 1,000 years, that's what everyone would say, that cannot explain something. But is it possible that this could be true? That perhaps this is indeed something that is happening. In association with this myth, that it is said that these dragons are formidable, and if they were to be bested in combat, it would take a mighty warrior indeed. But that, like all creatures, there are weaknesses, if only you can find them out.
I assume we're kind of walking along talking about this
Yeah.
as we're doing the meeting. Yep.
Now, Sir Aurelius, upon hearing about someone needing to slay a dragon, how do you respond to that?
Oh, he's quite excited. I mean, he's looking for like a worthy opponent, and so far he's not met a single one. He cannot wait to make a name for himself as well.
And Illyriana, as a warden, what is your thoughts, or what are your thoughts on this quest?
I mean, I was kind of eavesdropping in all this. What I'm hearing is that there's going to be a lot more people out in the woods. looking for danger, they're likely to find it. If it's true, then the Nightkin, who are normally easy to avoid, might need attend. Excuse me, might need attending. But the thought of her own barony, where she can open it to like a nature refuge, sounds good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So there will be danger, but perhaps much good can come of this, and so you are excited at this prospect. Um, Brightwing, you're likely in the same boat with Reginald as far as scholarship, but do you have any particular thoughts about this pronouncement?
Well, I mean, I was pretty sure that no dragon could be as bad as that lindworm that we just faced. But if Reginald seems pretty sure, and 1,000 gold would buy a lot of books.
Yes, it
So,
would. That would buy incredible amounts of scholarship for you, and that sounds like it's 1,000 gold each. So you don't have to split that. This could definitely be a great windfall. And Kif, what is your reaction to hearing about this strange shadow dragon that has perhaps taken up residence in the mountains to the north of Nordrose?
Honestly, I think I could use a little excitement. I feel like I've been napping for weeks now since our last run-in with a worm.
Yeah, so you've recovered from whatever wounds you might have sustained, and you've gained wisdom, and so the next time you face one, you will be better prepared. When you arrive at the King's Cuckoo, this lively tavern, you are shown to a private room. And sitting at the table waiting for you is a mallard, and she is wearing a beautiful purple cloak and hood. She is at the table already. She has a small bowl. There's a few breadcrumbs in there. Her glass is empty. And she looks at all of you and looks at the small child that brought you here, and she says, "You have done well." And she hands him a silver coin. And you think this kid could just fall over. This is like the greatest day he's ever had. And he immediately scampers over to the bar, putting his little copper coin up there, and they bring him out a little piece of cheese and bread, and he scampers outside like a mouse that has just found food to go find a quiet place where he can eat this. Torvald, the tavern keeper, brings over tankards of spiced mead and sets them on the table, and then pours dark red wine from a carafe for this female, this woman. And she introduces herself as Morgulana. "I am the seer, Morgulana. I have brought you here because I have much information for you. They call me an oracle. I have traveled far and told the fortunes of many eminent people. Ill omens have brought me here to Nordrose to speak with you. You have already heard of Hercarax, yes? The shadow dragon? Through my oracle bones, the spirits have told me that you, here at this table, have been chosen by the gods to destroy this shadow dragon." At this point, she gathers up some dried bones on the table. You see that there are bones of perhaps a human or an orc even. Finger bones. There's a leg bone of a chicken. There are a few other bits and pieces here, even the jawbone of a dog. And she shakes them in her hands and casts them onto the table. "Yes, I see great things in your future, but great peril as well." And she scans all of you seated at the table. And as she looks you over, she pauses momentarily, looking at each and every one of you. And you hear her almost overcome with sadness as she looks at Sir Aurelius. You, brave cat, have a special role to play. Yes, your sacrifice will not be in vain. And then she casts the bones down onto the table. She contemplates them for a moment, and then she looks back at Sir Aurelius. Tell me, do you know what can destroy a shadow dragon?
I confess I'm not well read. I didn't know there was such a creature out there.
Oh yes, there are many creatures of light and dark. This is one of the greatest darkness. Reginald, you raise your wing. Tell me what.
Yeah, I think when she asked a question, Reginald was eager to try and give an answer.
Yes, you wish to add something. What would you add, wise one?
Reginald will just, I think, while this was going on, was probably reading up about this particular dragon. Would he perhaps know what its weakness is?
Give me a myths and legends, this time with a bane, because this is very specific.
It looks like this passage, maybe I spilled some jam on this passage, and it's a little hard to read.
Yeah, it says something about the only thing that can destroy a shadow dragon is, and then it's stained with blueberry juice.
Would this be a beast lore thing that Lariana might know?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a beast lore roll.
Also with a bane?
Yes.
Yeah, no idea.
Since she asked me, could I try? I'm not even good at beast lore.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was holding my push to talk when I clicked it. Well, I don't even need to roll the bane.
Nope. She looks at Brightwing. You are wise as well. Do you know the weakness? And you can make either a myths and legends or a beast lore roll. So Illyriana and Sir Aurelius are talking about all the different ways to slay a dragon. It could be through subterfuge, through a bold approach. But Brightwing raises his wing and says, only light can defeat shadow. And she looks at you and she smiles. Oh yes, a black arrow through a missing scale will also work. But this dragon requires light. There is an item, a sunstone. According to legend, the sunstones fell from the heavens like the tears of the gods when the world was still young. The sunstone is the key to destroying Hercarax and ridding the land of the darkness that is soon to fall. She scoops up her bones, takes a few, looks at Illyriana, drops a few on the table. Tell me, how long have you been fighting the fight, taking the fight to the Nightkin? How long have you been at this task, old one?
She's not actually that old.
Well,
But,
you are older than I, surely.
I don't think so. And don't call me Shirley. No, I have worked all of my life to protect the woods from those that would harm it, to protect the animals from those that would hunt them for sport, and to prevent the incursion of evil into them. It has been years uncounted, and I shall continue to do so years after you're gone.
All of those years will amount to nothing if you do not complete this quest. And all of those years have served to prepare you for what lies ahead. Within 5 days, this entire northern land will be covered in darkness if you fail. If you fail, the orcs, the trolls, the goblins, all of the Nightkin will take over these lands. They will slay everyone here. This town will become as a brothel for the orc. The fields out there will be fallow, because they do not harvest, they take. And so, I must ask you, do you know where to find the Sunstone?
So we didn't know what it was. I'm going to guess no.
No, I will tell you where to find the Sunstone. To the north. Well, that music is like way too gentle for what's going on. To the north, there is a temple. The Temple of the Morning Sun. There you will find one of these sunstones. You must convince the Archon Druadriel to allow you to borrow it. I don't like that song either. To borrow the Sunstone. Once you have this Sunstone, you can take the fight to the darkness. It is several days' journey. I trust that you will be well prepared and successful. Retrieve the Sunstone from the temple, and then make all haste to the Cave of Echoes, where you must cast the stone into the maw of the dragon. When Hercarax has been destroyed, you may claim your reward in Starkhold. The king himself will give it to you. Gold and a barony, land of your own. For you to settle down, if you wish, and study, and she points at Reginald and Brightwing, to create a refuge, she points at Illyriana, or merely a home where you can raise young and continue your exploits, having a place to come and rest during the winter seasons. I wish that I could offer you more information, but what I have given you is precious indeed. There are many others who will seek to defeat Hercarax, and many others who will fail, and pay the price with their lives. It should be easy for you to go to the Temple of the Morning Sun. Simply stay on the path as you head north. You will find it. Avoid veering from the path at all costs, because with the spread of darkness, the Nightkin are afoot. Now, let us finish our drinks. I will answer any questions that you might have. And she reaches out and takes her glass of wine and raises it to her bill, takes a sip and sets it down and gathers up her bones and puts them in a little velvet pouch, and folds her wings across her lap and looks at each of you in turn. Yes, any questions?
Will this Archon Druadel, will they part with the Sunstone easily?
You will be convincing, I am certain. Druadriel will likely not part with it unless she has an assurance that you will do what is right. But you can convince her, yes?
I believe so. I think our purpose is good, is pure.
If you must, you may borrow it and ask permission later, but only if you must.
Will she recognize your name? Can we drop that?
Yes, please. Let her know that Morgulana has sent you.
Will that help or hinder us?
Well, I have not spoken with Druadriel for quite some time, but it is known that I am a friend of the king, and she will listen. She will aid you, I think. Test her mood
This
first.
dragon,
Yes, what about this dragon?
this dragon doesn't like the taste of duck, does he?
Oh, what dragon does not like the taste of duck? Why do you think many brave mallards have met their end in the bellies of dragons? Our kind are most flavorful.
Because they lost their temper at the wrong time?
That does happen. Do not irritate the dragon, young ducks. Be careful, because you irritate the dragon, it will snap at you.
I meant the ducks that are irritated. Got lost their temper at the wrong time.
Oh, very true. Yes,
Um,
it takes guile to talk to a dragon.
so how far to the temple?
It will take you about 3 days from here to the temple.
And from the temple to the dragon?
Probably another 2 days. You
So,
must waste no time.
so we only have 5 days. Therefore, any delay, in your opinion, would be fatal for the realm.
Well, it is very possible. I do not know what will come with the darkness. I know it will not be good. The orcs, it is said, are already amassing in the wildwood. Perhaps you can make haste and reach the temple sooner. That would mean traveling at night without rest, which may prove to be rather difficult for you. But you are brave, you are bold. You will accomplish this task. So what are you waiting for?
Do I feel like
Well,
she's hiding anything from us as I've been watching her with the bones and talking about everything in the history? I'm kind of curious if it just, do I feel like I can trust her? Does she seem honest?
Give me
Is
an
she hiding
intelligence
anything?
roll.
Oh, that's the stat.
Yeah, one of the stats.
Oh, which I'm terrible at. Oh!
You're quite good at that one. As Kif watches her and listens, this seems to be... I mean, perhaps you're distrustful of people that tell fortunes and predict the future. That pretend to have, or claim to have, the sight. But she strikes you as being very frightened. And in her state of agitation and fright, you sense that she would not hold back in telling you what needed to be done. And that this does indeed sound like she is not lying. She's not holding anything back. And perhaps she's being a little too upfront and too honest. And some of what she's telling you might dissuade others who did not have the mettle for this sort of thing.
So it seems like the Archon is going to be it's going to be a little hard to convince them to release the Sunstone to us.
They
Is
probably
there
won't just give you this Sunstone. This is, likely something very valuable to them, and so you would need to.
is there some sort of offering we can bring to the temple or anything?
Morgulana thinks on this for a moment. I do not know what it is that they need at present, but surely they have a need for something. You will find this when you speak with Druadriel. She will tell you. Make her understand the importance of this.
I turned to the others and I asked, didn't we pick up a wagon recently?
Yes, Reginald
From the
even
hag's
purchased
house, I
some
think.
donkeys for that wagon.
Yeah, you ain't walking.
Yeah, Reginald's not used to that sort of overland
Physical
travel,
exertion.
so yeah.
Well, I believe Morgulana, and I think we need to make haste. I don't know if anyone needs to run for supplies, but we should probably gather soon and head out.
So if you need any provisions, this would be a good time to get it. The people in town, at hearing that there is calamity coming, prices have gone up. And so anything you would need to buy, the price has gone up by 50%. You can attempt a bartering roll to try and get that down to the listed price in the book. The Morgulana tells you that she does not have a map, Reginald. That there are likely map makers in Nordrose, but the maps of the Wildwood would be greatly unreliable. But she does tell Reginald that Dradriel would have an accurate map, and that would be your best bet. She reminds you to stay on the trail. She tells you that there will be a turnoff. In fact, she warns you that there are multiple turnoffs. The first turnoff that heads to the west, she says, avoid at all costs. You will then reach a fork in the road where a road runs to the northeast and a road runs to the northwest. Stay to the left-hand side. So skip the first left, take the second left. You will arrive at the Temple of the Morning Sun. You will likely reach the first left within a day or so, and the second left within another day. And so if you make haste, there's a good chance you can get to the Temple of the Morning Sun within 2 to 2.5 days. But you would need to stick to the path. Do not go overland. There would be a shortcut going overland, but it could be very dangerous. Anyone else need to do any shopping?
I think I just introduced myself to Illyriana real quick.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Kif. It sounds like you're also interested in this journey. Will you be joining us?
Hopefully.
Did we lose?
We lose Reese.
It looks like Illyriana is taking a little nap. Maybe you introduce yourself later.
She probably went to go check on the wolf.
Yeah, did the wolf eat that little orphan boy? Remains to be seen. Any shopping? Otherwise, we can get on the way. Anyone need any rope or provisions?
I was about to say, I know I have a grappling hook. I thought I had a rope originally, but maybe I used that and never recovered it last time. So I probably need to grab some rope.
Yeah. Let me grab the... I got the book here with all the gear. So if you want to make a bartering roll, you can try and talk down the price of rope. Otherwise, it's going to be
Sure.
More than perhaps you are used to.
Okay. Yep.
Ooh.
So there is hemp rope, which is the common stuff. They're asking 15 silver, like 1.5 gold. They will sell it to you for 1 gold. If you want silk rope, excuse me, that would be 10 gold.
And
silk rope, there's no weight to it. It would give you a boon on any climbing rolls as well.
Okay.
Really, you probably don't need it. It's just kind of fancy rope.
Oh, for climbing, have a boon?
Yeah, you would have a boon with the hemp rope as well.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I'll grab probably... I don't know if anyone else has rope. I'll grab two lengths of that, I guess, just to be on the safe side.
I will throw that on your character sheet.
And then how much gold, or how much was that again?
So that would cost you 2 gold for the
2 gold,
two
okay.
lengths of rope. I'll put that on your
49.
character
Okay.
sheet here.
I think before we leave, Reginald is going to pull out a little list that he has, and knowing that he's going to be gone for more than 3 days, he's going to need to buy quite a few provisions to see that he's well fed during the trek.
Do you eat a normal amount of rations, or does Reginald need extra rations just to make up his daily requirement?
I mean, in his title, he is plump and learned, so he probably has to eat a double ration to maintain his
Now, you will
figure.
be able to forage and hunt during the journey. That would be part of the journey. Someone could go out and hunt and forage and obtain rations. You could also take some if you are concerned that maybe they're not able to hunt effectively. If you want to purchase rations, let me see how much they are. Field ration is going to be 1.5 silver, unless you give me a bartering roll.
Yeah, and also I think Reginald's going to buy some apples for the donkeys, and he'll even purchase a little some raw meat for the wolf.
Oh.
Let me
Give me a bartering roll.
Yeah, and Reginald is finely dressed, and he will even use a bit of his perfume to
Give yourself a
try
boon
and
on that.
even with it. I think maybe Reginald is a little scared going on this adventure, so there we go.
Excellent. So they will do the field rations for 1 silver each. If you buy 5 of those, they will throw in the apples. For the meat would be an additional 2 silver. So 7 silver, you could have 5 rations plus meat and apples for the animals.
All right, Reginald will accept that deal.
As far as overland travel goes, so a map does help with the bushcraft roll to travel. A spyglass will also help if anyone does not have or wants to buy one. They are expensive. If you need any light sources, torches, lanterns, if you need sleeping furs or a tent, otherwise there is a roll to be able to sleep every night and recover your health and your willpower.
I have boots and a cloak. I think isn't that required for camping out and stuff like
So
that?
the sleeping fur is the big one. So there are some mishaps that can happen on your journey. If you have boots or a cloak, that will prevent you from suffering those. There is under trade goods. There's sleeping fur. Oh, Reginald has a large tent, so that's nice. So that no one else needs a sleeping fur.
Oh, and a spyglass. Okay,
and
good.
a spyglass. Perfect. So then only one person has to make the bushcraft roll, and that is to be able to set up the tent in a good spot. Not in like a puddle or something, and then everyone is able to sleep. If Aurelius wants to sell that plate armor, you can give me a bartering roll to try and get a good price. There's a lot of people buying armor right now that are going to go up against that dragon.
I'm wearing that ornamental armor, which is
sweet.
So they should be honored to have my business, really.
You find a few brave souls that you see. They've got axes and clubs in hand. They're going to go and fight for their land, and here you're selling off these amazing sets of armor, and they look at you and this armor must have seen a great number of battles and has protected brave warriors. Perhaps this would protect me from the dragon's bite and breath. What is your price? What does Sir Aurelius want for this armor? The listed price is 500 gold each.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hard time, and I wouldn't want to drive a hard bargain. Well, I am bartering, so I guess I'd set it at half, 250 each.
They look at you and kind of speak amongst themselves. Can you wait a few hours? We'll get the money. And if you're willing to wait, they'll go and get the funds that you're seeking.
Oh, wow, that's an interesting proposition. Not only do we not have the time, that sounds very shady. Goodness.
I can give you what we have now. For the 2 sets, 300.
I mean, these guys are just going to go and die, probably. I feel, you know what? I'm not trying to be the terrible guy here. I'm happy to take that.
The 300? Okay. They'll take the 2 sets for 300 gold.
They deserve it. I'm glad to be rid of that weight.
Absolutely. Anything else anyone wants to buy or sell?
A question on boots and cloaks. Yeah. Each character needs to have that to avoid the.
So you've got like typical like traveling boots and a cloak, but these would be like fine boots, fine cloak. And so it's just if you have a mishap, you don't have to have it. It's assumed that you have footwear, but these would be like fur-lined boots or like a really sturdy cloak, so that if we do have any journey mishaps, anyone that has those would be protected from it.
Okay, I'm going to try and get boots and a cloak, and then I'm also going to try and buy these fine garments that give a boon on charisma.
Yeah, you just saw that Sir Aurelius's armor gave him a boon on charisma. Give me a bartering roll as you look through some fine garments. These are expensive. These are really nice. There's a nice fine cloth. There's no stains on it either. This is really good stuff.
Oh, nice.
Oh, sweet. They will do not even the listed price. They'll do you one better because they figure ain't nobody buying fine garments right now. So just to get whatever they can before orcs raid the town or a dragon burns it down, they'll do 6 gold for fine garments.
All right, I'll get the fine garments, a cloak, and a boot.
Perfect.
Or boots.
And so for the 5 garments, the cloak, and the boots, they'll be 6, 7. For 8 gold, they'll do everything on there.
Sounds reasonable. We'll do that.
Let me get that on you. Make sure that added to your character. I see cloak, fine garments. I don't see boots. Let me add the boots again.
Brandon, I'm just adjusting something in Discord in case I disconnect.
Okay.
I'll come back on.
Okay,
Thanks.
no problem.
I think Reginald would also probably, since I imagine Reginald's going to be the one driving the wagon, he's going to buy a little cushion for him to sit on while he's driving the wagon. He doesn't want to sit on the hard wood all day.
So there's a nice like a corduroy cushion that has been embroidered. This is like for a lady to sit on, like on a hard chair, but it looks like it would be just wonderfully gentle on your delicate rump. They would sell you this for 1 gold for this fine cushion. If you want something that's leather, maybe harder wearing, maybe a little rougher, you could get that for a little bit less. Depends on how comfortable you want to be.
Well, and Reginald is also going to be very adamant that and make sure that this isn't a feather pillow.
So that's what I was just gonna say. This is down feathers. If you want one that is not full of feather, they have some that are stuffed full of horsehair, and they're not nearly as soft. But you have your own downy layer that would be sitting on the cushion, so maybe it would be okay.
Yeah, I think Reginald would want one of the other ones. He would kind of look disgusted at the feather pillow and hand it back to him, and
5
want to
silver
purchase
for
from
one
the other
that
ones.
has horsehair in it. You load up the wagon. Anyone else need to purchase anything? Okay, we've got the wagon loaded up and we begin to head out. Not that far from Nordrose runs the river Ramos, which you will need to cross on your way to the Wildwood. There is a ford that is the best place to do this. The river is rarely above knee-high for a humanoid creature of normal size, but the current can be quite strong. Creatures of smaller stature, such as halflings and dwarves, but not mallards, will find the crossing difficult. This would be the easiest way. Right, Illyriana, if we're going to be comfy, if we're going to look nice. Once you cross the ford, you know that there's a toll house that crosses the river Rin. So you have to get across the Ramos and the Rin. The only way to cross that is at the toll house. It's a narrow crossing there. Once you cross through the toll house, the northern bank of the river is the Wildwood, and then the Northern Way is the only road north. So across the ford, through the toll house, and on to the Northern Way. Even from here, you can see the Wildwood. It's a dense forest whose tall firs and pines give it a dark and even threatening air. As you make your preparations to head out. Brightwing, you rolled a dragon on your bartering roll, and the merchant asks where you're going. If you're leaving town, do you tell him that you're going north to fight the dragon?
No, I do. He asked me. He's curious, and I mentioned that we're going up north to ask the temple for assistance in trying to stop this darkness that's spreading.
The merchant kind of looks left and right, leans into you, and says, "There be a stag in the wildwood, a white stag. If anyone should kill it, great misfortune will befall them." He taps his finger to his nose. "Don't kill the white stag." And then he leans back and kind of goes about his business.
Well, okay, sir. That's
Very
good to
random.
know. I'll be sure to avoid white stags.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. As you head towards the ford of the river is flowing quite strongly. The only one that's going to really struggle to cross this will be Kif. How do you all propose getting across to make it easiest for Kif? Are you going to take any precautions or just let Kif swim it?
So we have a cart, right? Like, how do we get the cart across?
So you will be able to get the cart through there. It's going to take a roll to get the cart through there. And so if you're all in the wagon, that will be a little easier, but someone's going to have to lead the donkeys. They're not going to go, no matter how hard you whip them, they won't go into that river unless someone leads them.
Illyrion will lead them.
Yeah, I'll jump in the cart, I think. That makes the most sense.
Give me a beast lore roll, Illyriana. So you are able to coax these donkeys to pull the cart into the river. How do you coax them? What's your method?
Well, Illyriana will kind of, walk up to the edge of the river, and she'll be the first one to step in. She'll grab the reins in between the donkeys that are hooked up, talk, gently to them, and slowly urge them forward, and then she'll have Fang to the back of the cart and growl.
Nice. So, if there's either the carrot and the stick, you're doing a little of both.
Yes. And once the cart's about to leave dry land, Fang will jump in the back, so he can ride across.
You get across the ford rather easily. The donkeys are reluctant at first, but your insistence and kind of your look at them, you give them a look of like, "Come on, donkeys, this is what we're doing. Let's do it today." And the growls of Fang is enough to get them moving. And once they're moving, they continue on. They are somewhat unsure of their footing in the river, but they quickly realize that while the water goes up to their bellies, it's not strong enough to cause them to lose their footing. And they get through the ford rather easily. And because of the wagon, none of your goods or the rest of you are wet. Illyriana, you will dry. You're no stranger to wading and crossing through streams. It's just not a huge deal. In fact, you take some pride at knowing that you were able to accomplish this. You make your way...
it washed a couple layers of the mud off, but I'm sure I'll get more.
Oh yeah. You throw that camouflage back on there. You make your way to the toll house, and the toll house is unguarded. You've never been this far north before, but you know that there's usually always someone here that is guarding the way, mostly keeping the bad things from coming south. But it's fallen into ruin, and you're kind of shocked that no one is here. But then you realize everyone is leaving town. You see a few people have already crossed. You see them disappearing into the wildwood. People with bows and axes, and you know that most, if not all of these, will meet their doom in the wildwood. There is a bridge. It's still in good condition. As you cross over, you notice that the to the far north, to the edge of the wildwood, you can just see the gray peaks of mountains rising up. The path ahead is relatively clear. It's slightly overgrown with grass, but it's traveled enough that you'll be able to get the cart through there without incredible difficulty. The first day passes rather uneventfully. Do you want to do any hunting or foraging before continuing on?
Yeah. If we're near the river, I'll do some fishing.
Perfect. If you want to fish, that is a hunting and fishing roll. If you succeed, you'll catch 1d4 rations of food with a fishing rod.
I do have a fishing rod, so
Perfect.
okay. So hunting and fishing.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll a d4. We'll see how much. Oh, nice. 4 rations. So you managed to catch quite a few fish.
Heck, even the salmon are running.
Exactly. Now, eating raw fish or meat, there's a risk of getting ill, but at some point you will likely be making a campfire. You'll be able to cook them. Until then, you can, gut them and hang them across a stick on the back of the wagon or something so they can dry out in the sun and get nice and tangy. Does anyone want to hunt while you are traveling through the woods? We've just about enough rations for everyone with that successful fishing trip.
I already have some rations from previous, so I think I'm good here.
Perfect. You don't want to eat the day-old fish?
Oh, I don't mind.
To journey through the wilderness, we need to have a pathfinder. So the pathfinder will lead the way for the group. They will make a bushcraft roll. A spyglass gives a boon on this. On a failure, there will be a mishap. Does Reginald, you have the spyglass, do you want to be the pathfinder?
I have 14 in bushcraft.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
Iliorana has a 12, so we could just kind of trade off unless someone else has
The
high
difference,
bushcraft.
I think, is Reginald's bushcraft is like what he's learned in a book, and Illyriana's is what she has learned
Well,
on the job.
I have a book that gives me a boon on as well. I think, yeah, the Duck Scout's Handbook. So
Nice. Shows you how to tie knots and make fires and stuff.
yeah, so I can do what's in the book, but I'm sure Illyriana is much better when it comes to actually practicing it.
Well, why don't we have Reginald make the first roll? It's your spyglass. Lets you take the first bushcraft roll. Oh, and easily succeed. So you managed to keep the wagon on the path the entire time, and the terrain is not overly difficult. You journey for the first stretch of the day, sticking to the path. You can still hear people tromping through the trees not far away, but the further north you get, the less and less that becomes apparent, as people are likely spreading out. There were a few travelers on the road, and seeing your wagon, many of them left the road, and you suspect it was likely that perhaps you're drawing attention with the wagon, and they don't want to be ambushed as part of your wagon train. Whether or not there's any truth to that remains to be seen. For the second half of the day, who would like to make the bushcraft roll for that?
I think Reginald's got that covered.
Okay, you want to do that again, Reginald?
Sure.
Dean.
Let me roll a die here. roll a d10. This is going to be random. We'll do Brightwing 1, 2, Illyriana 3, 4, Kif 5, 6, Reginald 7, 8, and Aurelius 9, 10. Is that Reginald 7, 8?
Yep, 7/8's Reginald.
The way ahead is blocked by rocks, fallen trees, thick shrubs. This is going to take a bit of effort to get past this. It would be no big deal if you didn't have the wagon, but with the wagon, it's going to take some time. People can use strength to try and move some of the objects. You can also use other skills to try and get the wagon maybe off-road and then back onto the road on the other side of that. How do you propose getting past this?
Reginald will just kind of flip through his little book and scratch his head. There's nothing about this and this in here, and kind of turn to Illyriana and see what she thinks.
Well, I think that so can I look at the bracken and everything that's across to see, are the trees cut? Is this a setup for an ambush? Or
Give me a bushcraft roll.
a perfectly naturally occurring formation?
Yeah, it looks as though, based on the cuts on these trees, like beavers must have felled these trees here.
Crafty
Trees,
bastards.
trees sometimes hate this. Hate roads. Yeah. I think the best thing to do is to take the cart apart and carry it around.
Then reassemble it.
Yeah.
What about the
I'd like
donkeys?
to-
Do you take them apart as well?
Well, they're going to be what carries it around. Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Can I tell how
pretty
much work it'll be
suspicious.
to move the rocks
Yeah.
that are out of the way?
Give me a bushcraft roll.
Ugh. This be a miracle. Nope.
Right.
To move everything, is going to take hours. Probably at least 2 hours, maybe 3. If you were to try and get the cart around, you could take it kind of through the woods and maybe pick out a path. Would probably take less time, but there is a possibility that something happens to the cart, you break a wheel or something, and then you have no cart. Any other suggestions?
I'm fairly strong. I don't mind working on these rocks a little bit. I don't know how everyone else feels.
Be good to get some exercise in.
I don't mind watching you guys work on the rocks.
This is a great time for Reginald and Brightwing to do some journaling while you guys are toiling hard. Let's do, yep, perfect. Let's do
strength.
Yep,
Okay.
another strength roll.
I think while they're moving all these rocks, Reginald's just gonna pull out a little piece of toast from one of his rations and butter it and just kind of watch them.
You watch as they work up a sweat as they're moving these rocks, shifting these logs, and both Aurelius and Kif, you are no strangers to danger, and you recognize that these have been cut and placed here. That this is not, a beaver's doing, but this is something a little bit more sinister. And let me make a roll to see what exactly we got here.
While we're moving the rocks, I'm kind of singing some of my dad's songs about mining in the mountains.
Nice. And at hearing
I
that,
will.
go ahead.
And
Illyriana and Fang will step off the path and just kind of look around and make sure nothing's sneaking up on us and see if I can keep myself hidden from being stuck up on.
Yeah, give me a
Stuck
sneaking
up.
roll.
Oh.
Great.
Excellent. There we
You want Fang too, or just Illyriana?
go. Just Illyriana.
I don't know what the Fang is. I was thinking.
Let me grab this. As you get these rocks moved, Illyriana has kind of hidden herself, and give me an awareness roll. You become aware of sounds all around you, and it sounds like at first maybe squirrels or birds kind of in the brush, rustling leaves here and there, but it's getting closer and closer. It could be beavers, absolutely. It's getting closer and closer. And then you happen to glance up in a tree not far from the road here, and you see this.
Oh.
And you hear a voice call out. Sorry, let me get this set on here. This voice calls out, "All right there, lads. It's been a spot of fun watching y'all work. But the little Wolverine is hungry. I can't wait here all day. So look, the price for your passage is 5 silver each. Now I think that's a good price. I think your lives are worth far more than 5 silver. I could just kill you and take all you got, but 5 silver, that's your protection money for being in my wildwood. Now, you sees me, you don't seize the 20 others that got bows. 20 bows and 20 arrows pointed right at your hearts. So, 5 silvers it is, and 2 for the donkeys as well. Leave it in a pile there, and then you're free to move on. If not, you're free to die. What'll it be?"
Do I get the impression she's bluffing at all?
Give
You
me
could call
an
her.
awareness roll.
Also not my forte.
Do you want to push that?
No, I won't push it.
Brightwing is watching all this and is also suspicious
Yeah, give me an
about whether
awareness
she's
roll.
bluffing or anything.
Does she seem like a warden?
She does not. She seems very bandity.
Okay.
Brightwing, what exactly are you looking for, just to see if she's speaking the truth or if she's bluffing?
Well, she mentioned 20 people and 20 arrows, so I'm just looking around trying to see if she's actually being legit about that.
As you look around, you can see now a little halfling hand kind of waving at you, and then you see the tip of an arrow kind of poking out of the branches of a tree. And you look around and you can see a few more arrows in the brush, and it seems like maybe there's not 20, but there's at least 10 that you can see.
Well, guys, we didn't have to pay a toll at the toll house, so maybe this is where we pay a new toll.
Well, how about a gold apiece and they move this out of our way?
A gold if we moves it. That might could happen. And she actually seems a little bit flummoxed by this, that someone is offering to pay more for a little work. Give me a bartering roll with a boon.
Not my strong suit. Can one of the fancy dress people?
I don't mind making. Yeah.
Nope. I'll become angry at being stuck up on. Nope.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't think that works. I don't think 1 gold's enough for that amount of work. Look how much your fellows there are sweating. I think 2 golds each, and we let you on your way, and we even does the back-breaking labor. I'll even give you some water too.
I'm going to try. Can I try a persuasion roll? Just because
Absolutely.
there's so many of them. They've got enough to make this a pretty easy job.
Yeah.
Oh, do I get a boon from this from my fine garments?
You do.
Hey.
Old Fancy Pants here makes a good point. You can afford it, can't you? How much you willing to pay?
Well, I mean, I don't want to go as high as 2 gold, but I think and if they don't want to do 1 gold, I'd say like a gold and a couple silvers should do it.
Make that couple 4, and we got to trade. 1 gold and 4 silvers, or 14 silvers, if you want me to do the math. And she actually counts that on her fingers, then nods. Yeah, 14. We'll move that out your way and get you back on the road. And we'll protect you. Think of this money as protection money.
How did she get to 14 on her fingers?
Yeah.
She
She's
might have
good.
had. She took her boot off and used some toes.
Well, what do you think, guys? I think 14.
Yeah, I think we could avoid this and probably just get moved on here. I don't have an issue with
Yeah.
that.
I have 0 money. Like, not even silver.
I don't worry about it. I got you covered.
Yeah.
She rubs her hands together excitedly as she sees you beginning to divvy out coins. Put them there on that tree stump, and then back the wagon away, and we'll move this real quick.
All right. So it's how much gold again?
So that's going to be it'll be 14 silver, or 1 gold and 4 silver, and 10 silver is 1 gold piece if you need to get change. She actually does not offer change. If you're like, can you break a gold piece? She says no. So everyone will need to pay that, and then they will let you pass.
All right. So, is there a certain way to pay it? Or do I see Wolfen is putting
7 gold for 5 people. Yeah, the wolf can do math. Look at this. Pawing the ground a couple of times.
All right, so I'm just gonna make it easy. I'll just take it out of my pile, and we can worry about it later.
Yeah.
2 and okay, so it's 36. Okay, 36. Okay.
You set the money on a cut tree stump.
Sure.
She hops down from the tree, rubs her hands, scoops it up into her hands, puts it into a little pouch. We will eat good tonight. All right, lads. And she whistles, and you see about 25 halflings come out of the brush. And 5 of them keep their bows aimed on everyone in the wagon. And she kind of tells you, back away, and she goes up to the donkeys and strokes their noses a few times. Go on, lad, back up now. And the donkey backs up. And you see she's actually quite gentle with this animal. The 20 remaining halflings make quick work. They've got ropes. They pull the logs away. They move several of the larger stones, rolling them off to the side, as though as soon as you pass, they're just going to put them back. And then they wave you forward. As the wagon passes, the female halfling gives you a little mock salute and says, "The little Wolverine thanks you for your contribution." And then they all disappear into the forest.
On the way back, I think we're gonna get our money back from those guys.
Yep.
But 25 halflings, that would have been a problem.
That might have been a little rough.
What did she call herself again?
The
Sorry.
little Wolverine.
The little Wolverine. All right. How far into the day are we?
So it's towards late afternoon. You probably travel for a few more hours. You reach the point where you could make camp now, or you could push on if you want to. There's a chance that you could become exhausted. Everyone needs to sleep at least 6 hours a day, and if you don't, some bad things can tend to happen there.
I turn to Ilarana and ask, I don't suppose you've kept tabs on the little Wolverine or anything else in the woods that might be around following us at all?
Woods have their own bandits. Where I come from, the bandits are about twice that size. But there's always little groups like that. That's probably the most organized one I've ever seen. Um, I don't know how they eat well tonight. You can't eat gold. Should offer them fish.
They probably would have taken food. Absolutely. So as far
But
as sleeping goes, you need at least one
I will
shift. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll let the warden of this area know about the little Wolverine when we get out of this.
Yeah, this may be a new something new that has happened just recently. Is the little Wolverine moving into the woods? But definitely the warden would want to know. So as far as sleep deprivation goes, if you want to push on through the night, every character needs at least one shift of uninterrupted sleep every day. You cannot sleep in armor, and after 3 shifts without sleep, you can no longer heal willpower or conditions, and you heal hit points as usual. But you will lose willpower every shift you remain awake. And if you reach 0 willpower while suffering from sleep deprivation, you collapse and sleep for at least 1 shift and cannot be woken. So if you push on through the night, you'll kind of each take like a level of exhaustion. If you hit 3 of those, then you cannot regain willpower. But you would be okay to push on tonight if you choose to. Or if you want to make camp, you can do that as well.
I think you get rid of exhaustion, right?
Yeah, so one good night's sleep and that'll go away.
Okay, because I think one of us pushed a couple of rolls, right? So
right.
I think we knew we were going to be taking a couple days to get up there, right?
Yeah.
Does everyone sound like we should probably just find a good place to camp and do that?
That would probably be my vote. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather try to get us back up to full strength.
You never know when you're going to get ambushed in the night and then not get a full night's sleep as well.
Yeah.
Let's do. We need whoever's setting up the tent to make a bushcraft roll to find a good spot to set up camp.
I'll probably look to guard, look around, and just let someone else maybe set up who has better bushcraft than I do.
Yeah, Reginald with his little Duck Scouts guide is able to figure out how to put a tent together.
Nice work, Reginald.
Very good. You get this tent set up, and it's got. You go inside. You've got like some rugs you set on the ground, a little tray to put your boots so they don't get any mud on the rugs. This is why you had to bring a wagon, because all of your fineries that you have in your tent. To smoke the salmon, that is a roll, and I think we have a field kitchen. Does Reginald have a
Yeah, Reginald would probably set up his field kitchen along with the tent, so I think that gets rid of the bane.
I think it gets you a boon on a bushcraft roll to cook. I think. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Field kitchen. That's under trade goods, field kitchen. Yeah, you get a boon on bushcraft rolls for cooking. Yep. So then whoever wants to cook that can get a boon with that field kitchen.
Halflings, they're stupid. Ambushes. All right, we're having sushi.
I have some rations I can spare.
If anyone wants to eat the fish, let me know. You'll have to make a roll against the disease that is possible.
Cats do like fish.
You gonna eat
I'll,
the fish, Aurelius?
I think I'd be very interested if Illyriana is willing.
Oh yeah, I'll obviously eat my own cooking. Never trust a chef that doesn't eat their own cooking, and I'll give one of them to Fang as well.
Fang has no trouble eating this. Goes down easy. For the rest of you, so that'll be Aurelius and Illyriana that eats the fish. Give me a Constitution roll. And the disease got a 15. So the disease failed. As long as you pass your Constitution roll, you do not get dysentery. Does Illyriana want to push that? Oh yeah, there we go. Nice. So your fish tastes a little funky, Illyriana. There's a little bit of it's been in the sun, a little tang to it. And your stomach probably churns a little bit at night, but it finally settles down, and you're able to get some rest.
I thought these things came pre-breaded.
No, turns out you didn't have any any seasoning. There was no lemon to put on there. It just had the nice smoky taste of the fire. Now, was it Kif that was keeping watch?
I was, yeah, I don't know if, do we take turns doing that? I was doing it during the tent.
Yeah, so while the tent was getting set up, give me an awareness roll.
Okay. Oh, I have the horn on, the helmet. I forgot about that.
Do you want to push that?
Sure. Oh, that was close, but nope.
That's okay. You're trying to keep watch. It's a strange land. You've not been in here before. You see before you hear it. You see someone approaching with a bow drawn. Let me send a picture. And he asks a question. What are you doing here? Why are you here in this wildwood?
King fish, you want one?
I admit the smell of the fish is what drew me here. I have not eaten for days.
Give me an extra.
Sitch brother.
Are you friend or foe?
Offering you fish. What do you think?
I think you are friend. I am Garf Greyhackle. I have a bloody reputation amongst the orcs. They call me the Grey-Haired Vengeance. You may call me Garf. And he puts his bow down. And I just realized that's a terrible picture. That bowstring is like not even symmetrical.
You know, I was just thinking for AI, it looks pretty good because I've never been able to get them holding a bow right. Never, not once.
Yeah, clearly I can't.
Yeah.
Either,
almost
so.
close. It's close. It's not quite there, but
You have to be really careful in the editing to redo it a couple times.
Got to use your imagination with that one. So maybe he's not much of an archer, but he sits down, lowers his bow. May I speak with you? And he looks at Reginald. Do not call me Vengeance unless you are an orc, and you have far too many feathers to be an orc.
Oh yes, this is true. I am no orc. So, Garf, what brings you out here to the wilds then?
Orcs. That is why I'm here. Have you seen any, or know where they might be?
No, I saw a couple of halflings earlier today, but no orcs.
No, don't you worry about them. They're harmless. At least until they decide to escalate from mere banditry to murder, then I shall take care of them. There's a place called Boar's Cavern, and I don't know where it is, but I've been told it's a mine, and there are many orcs there. I suggest that perhaps we join together, and you help me vanquish these orcs. I go tomorrow to find them. Have you the courage to accompany me?
We're on a bit of a deadline ourselves.
Yeah, we're on a mission from God.
We're getting the band back together. Well,
Go-
the least I can
Well, I
do.
kind of,
Oh yes.
well, Garf, we're on a mission that will make things harder for orcs. This darkness that's creeping helps them out. So,
Yes.
we're trying to go and
What
stop
is
that.
this? I've seen it spreading down from the mountains. What is this darkness?
Have you
We've
heard
been
of the
told it's-
dragon Hercorax?
Dragon? No.
Yeah,
Tell me everything.
Yeah, we were told in town it has taken residence in a mountainside cave and is sending bands of orcs down. That's why there's been an escalation. We've been sent to try to find a special stone that will help us defeat this dragon.
Speak with the sun worshippers at the temple to the north.
Yes, exactly.
They've a tower, like a lighthouse on the shore. It is with a great beacon at the top. This light can be seen for miles. It is rumored that this light keeps the darkness at bay. I know that the orcs do not harry them at all, for fear of that light.
I wonder if that light comes from the sunstone.
It very well could. I've never seen it personally, but I think that is likely the case. If you see that light, you'll know that you are drawing near to the temple. My friends, in exchange for the fish, let me give you some advice. There's an island in a lake in the forest. There's a magical tree there which bears golden fruit with healing properties. Mind you watch out for the tree's guardian, though. But you can find this if you need it.
In what direction is this tree?
Well, it depends on the direction that you travel, of course. It is it is down to the west from here, to the south. You will find it. It is just off the path. It is not far.
well, it's kind of the opposite way we were going. We have to go north to the temple.
Well, perhaps something we can look to later.
Yeah, should you require healing magic, it is said that the fruit of that tree can be very helpful. Is there anything else I can help you with on your journey?
Have you been along the path to the temple? Are there any dangers you can let us know about that you've seen?
There are not many dangers, but the orcs are becoming bolder and bolder the more they travel into these lands. They have become emboldened by this strange darkness, by this dragon, you say. I have seen many folk like unto yourselves this day. I have seen a few dead as well, slain by black arrows. Mind yourselves, there are orcs about, and opportunists like the little Wolverine that you've already met. You look tired, all of you. In exchange for warming myself by your fire, for sharing your food, I will watch over you tonight while you rest. You can be at ease. Rest easy, young ducks. You're in good hands. Garf will let nothing bad happen to you. And he goes and stands up kind of to the edge of the firelight and just looks out into the trees, every now and then walking around to the other side of the camp, looking in the trees, sniffing the air, and being ever vigilant. Do you all trust him enough to go to sleep?
I whisper to Illyana, is this one of the wardens you were speaking of earlier?
He is not. He is. He has his own reasons for being. However, I think the guardian of the fruited tree probably is a warden.
Hmm.
I, th- I, th- I think we can trust him. Also, the fish was a little bit off, so if he turns on us, he might get sick.
If he dies, it
Looks like
wasn't my fault.
Yep. I'll have Fang kind of sleep watching him, but as a first alert type thing.
You definitely notice that Fang takes a liking to Garf. Fang does not seem to sense any ill will or danger coming from Garf. And at night while you're sleeping, you probably look over for Fang and you see Fang curled up next to Garf's feet as he sits on a stone looking out into the darkness.
well, seeing that, I think Kif would be at ease with that.
As dawn breaks, you find that Garf has already started to prepare a breakfast. He's got some mushrooms in a little skillet. He is sautéing them in a little bit of animal fat. The smell awakens probably Reginald first, the sizzling of the fat and the smell of cooked mushrooms. Everyone can go ahead and take a rest. If you have any conditions, you will recover all of those.
So this is the first time I'm doing the rest.
Yeah.
Is it the one with the bed icon, the shift rest?
I think it's the bed that
Okay.
should recover it should automate all of your hit points, willpower, and your conditions will
Gotcha.
go.
Okay.
You pack up your camp. Garf tells you that he must be about his day's work. He checks his arrows, checks his bowstring, bids you all a fine farewell, hopes that he will meet you again, and then he says that he must go in search of Boar's Cave, and he heads straight north. Which is...
Oh, isn't that where we're heading?
It's kind of along that way. You're sort of... The road's taking you a little bit to the northeast, and he just cuts through the trees to take the most direct route.
I see. Have we reached the first turnoff that...
You have. So shortly after this, probably within the first 30-40 minutes of travel, you see the first turnoff to the left. And there are quite a few tracks heading down here. In fact, if you want to give me a beast lore roll, you can take a look at these tracks.
I will probably notice the tracks and probably mention it to any of the others if they have any idea what that might be.
And I run over. I'm very curious, looking at these tracks from every angle.
Yeah, give me a beast lore as you look at these tracks.
And I trip and fall on my face, and I'm a little dazed, and I can't make any sense of these tracks. So I look to the others.
Sir Aurelius and Reginald both kind of stumble on these tracks. Sir Aurelius, you can differentiate many different tracks, and they are small, and they look to be boot prints. Some are boots, and some are the soles of a bare foot, but they look to be humanoid and small. And Reginald, you think these are probably halflings. These are like the bandits that we paid a toll to. And it looks like there's a great many of them heading off towards the west along this turnoff. And it's likely that that's where they hole up for the night, is wherever that road leads. If you want to go and try and reclaim your silver, you can, or you can continue on your journey to the north.
I'm on a mission from God.
Perfect.
It's tempting, but yes, we do have a quest.
We need another bushcraft roll with the spyglass to stay on the path.
Does anyone want to make that, or Reginald can use his trusty book, his little booklet?
I would say go for it, yeah.
Using your book and your spyglass, you maintain your journey here. Let me roll a random event. morning passes uneventfully. Does anyone want to hunt while you are traveling?
Do we need items for that, or
If you've got a bow, like a ranged weapon, typically works best, or you can use a trap. But if anyone has a bow, crossbow, sling, you could use that to try and hunt.
Are we near river, or is this
Nope.
hunting going on?
There's no river nearby here.
I'll
Sure.
try my hand at hunting. Not very good at it, but
Well,
I'll give it a go.
this is how you get good at it. Give me a hunting and fishing roll.
Nope.
That is not good.
No. See, you're not supposed to say, "Hey, I'm about to go hunting creatures. Come on,
Where are you?
come here, creatures."
You're saying I was too loud. I see.
I think
Okay.
so. Kif, you actually not far
advice.
in front of you. You see a donkey pulling a cart, and you could probably take this thing out. It's like carrying this heavy burden. If you want to take out this donkey,
With a couple sides of duck.
right? maybe not. Maybe not.
I think I will skip that one.
Well, Illyriana, so you track down an animal. Give me a 1d6, please. We'll see what sort of animal it is. A 1, a squirrel. If you can take this out, it will provide 1 ration of food. In order to get that, you can just give me your weapon roll for whatever ranged weapon you're using. And you harvest the squirrel. This again will need to be cooked. You can eat it raw, but you'll have to roll against the virulence. But you have managed to obtain some food for everyone.
I'll use that ration for Fang and use one of my own for myself.
Perfect. Fang greedily gulps it down. It's much tastier than that fish. He likes his meat to be still warm and bloody, not sun-baked and a little bit undercooked.
Yeah, well, he'll get what he likes and deal with it.
He'll be happy. You continue on through your journey. Let's do one more bushcraft roll. It's now getting towards the late afternoon.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Well, Reginald is maybe a little disheartened. He thinks he might have missed something, some sort of turn or something, but referencing his handbook, he's able to keep us on track.
So actually, what you find is there's a thorny thicket that's very near the road and kind of overgrown. And as you get the wagon through, you see that some of these thorns look like they could catch on your clothing. That these things would damage some fine clothing. And so, disheartened at the thought of this, there's no tailors in this wildwood. You kind of strain yourself to maneuver the wagon through here. You don't care if the wagon gets scratched, but your fine satin vest, if something were to happen to that, or your jaunty little beret, the rest of the adventure would be spoiled. And so you very cautiously make your way through there, avoiding that encounter. As night begins to fall, up ahead you see the turnoff. So there is a road going to the northeast and a road going to the northwest. It forks. Which direction do you go?
Well, I believe, if I remember correctly, she said to take the left, correct?
When it forks, right? I think so.
Yeah, this looks like the fork. You want to go left?
Yeah.
You can travel through the night, or you can make camp one more time here.
I feel like we're right on schedule. Should we camp here, or do you guys feel the need to push?
We didn't do any of the diversions, so accounting for that, I feel like we could probably do a rest.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
We can have someone make the bushcraft roll in order to set up the tent. And you get the tent set up, no problem. Does anyone want to hunt or fish?
I will try hunting again. Nope. I luckily I still have some rations.
Yeah, I said fish. I guess we can't fish. It would just be hunting. So otherwise, everyone will need to eat a ration.
Yep.
Now, if someone wants to forage rather than hunting, they can go find root vegetables, berries, things like that. That's just a bushcraft roll rather than a hunting and fishing roll. And you would get, you could find up to 1d3 food rations worth of mushrooms, roots, and other plants. If not, you can eat one of their rations. Yeah.
Bushcraft, you said?
Bushcraft, please.
Well, I stumble around, but I don't recognize anything that.
Yeah, nothing
that's good. So
you're used to buying your goods in a market. You don't see any markets. There's no merchants with baskets of fruits. You pass by several bushes that have strange red fruit growing on them, but you've never seen it attached to a tree. So it's kind of curious why your food would be stuck on a tree, and you just you walk past it looking for the little basket where you normally get your berries and roots, and you are unable to obtain that.
I was too lazy to forage, so I decided to just eat one of my rations.
Perfect. So everyone will need to make sure they eat a ration. And then, is someone going to keep watch?
Typically, would we take turns to do that?
Yes, you could do one or two people could keep watch while the rest sleep, and then you would swap back and forth.
Sure, I can take first watch.
Okay. And whoever is sleeping, you cannot sleep in your armor. So if something happens and you're asleep, you do not have your armor on. So who wants the first shift besides Kif?
I'm gonna take off my helmet.
Okay. That gives you, it takes away the bait on your awareness. So you can just unequip it.
Okay, let me go look at
Reginald could stay up and watch with Kif. He probably wants to catch up on some of his reading, and he'll keep watch while he's doing that.
Okay. I'll have the two of you give me an awareness roll. Reginald, you will have a Bane because you are reading. Either of you want to push that?
Yeah, I'm about to sleep, so maybe the sounds of the forest are a little scary for Reginald.
Yeah, I'll do the same. I'll do this.
See, Reginald, you shouldn't be reading like a book of ghost stories while you're out in the woods. Perfect. Okay.
It's probably just a cookbook about how to cook duck or something.
I'm going to take us to a map because your camp is attacked by orcs. Let's pull out some tokens.
Promise I was paying attention.
Kif and Reginald up here. Aurelius. So Aurelius, Illyriana, and Brightwing, you would not have armor on.
No, indeed.
As you are asleep. Let me grab some orcs out of here.
I forget who was watching with me. Was it Reginald?
Reginald, yeah.
Okay.
The most useless one was watching with you. So.
Oh no, that's fine.
All right, Kif. I promise I was keeping watch.
I wanted to make sure if maybe I can get in front of the other ones while they're putting armor on or something.
So these guys are encircling your camp. Us into combat. So those of you that would have armor, go ahead and unequip that. I think it takes, like for plate mail, I think for Sir Cornelius, isn't it like a shift of time?
It's a stretch to
like,
put it
like
on.
10 minutes to put your armor on.
15 minutes or so.
That's
yeah.
right, because you missed the whole one battle at Lucia's house because you didn't have your armor on.
Is putting a helmet on also like a shift?
That's just like an action. You could easily put your helmet on, which I would advise doing because that at least gets you some armor.
Yeah.
All right, let me get this. Let me group up some of these orcs here. Just so we got enough cards.
Well, I'm not sure if did I delete my helmet when I unequipped it?
Does it show up in your inventory?
Oh, it does. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay, now I see it.
Oh, come on. Does not want to group these guys. Get one more in that group. Okay, draw cards. So then if Brightwing, Kif, and Aurelius want to, you can go to the combat tab. It's the 2 crossed swords. There'll be a hand of cards next to your adventurer's name. You can click on that and it should draw initiative for you. I'll get us some combat music going. Illyriana, you are awakened by the smell of orc, and your danger sense is going off. You're inside the tent, but you can hear a sound that does not sound expected in your campsite. For your action, if you naked combat, if you want, you can get up. You could look outside the tent. You could try and be stealthy. What would Illyriana do?
She's gonna get up, grab her bow, look at Fang. You're useless. But yeah, she'll look outside. I assume see the orcs.
Yep. Yeah, you could see them through the tent flap. You could probably see half of them. You probably have sight to like the ones on the kind of to the east, the right side of the map. You probably see those.
She'll bravely back up.
Okay.
And shoot this guy.
Okay.
She's angry about being woken up in the middle of the night.
There we go. Oh, excellent. Let me assign that damage. Skewer the orc. Shoot it right through the throat. Brightwing, you can hear this gurgling, raspy cry of an orc as an arrow goes through its neck. What do you do?
I'm going to switch with Kif.
Perfect. Let me switch your initiative. Perfect. So then, Kif, it's your turn.
I will, let's see, move here. And then how do you target somebody again?
So you can either hold down Alt and click on that token, or click on the token and push T, and it will target them.
Okay.
There you go.
So I'll do that. And then it was just using the... Was it just click on the sword?
Yep, click on the sword.
Okay.
And then there's no boons or banes. Nice. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
Ooh. Let me assign that damage. The lion's claw slashes out, hewing into the orc, nearly felling it, but if you see the blood splatters, that means it's taken half of its remaining hit points in damage, so you have done at least half of the damage there.
Okay.
Orc warrior number 3 will probably rush up and attack Kif.
Yeah.
Take down the strong ones. With a curved scimitar blade, it lashes at you. That is a success, and you have used your action, so you cannot parry or dodge. Oh, not bad at all. Nice. That could have been much, much worse.
So does the leather and the helmet only work when I'm dodging or parrying?
So the helmet will work anytime you take damage. Your armor will reduce the damage by that amount.
Gotcha.
And then if you parry, then you use your sword, or if you have a shield, you can use that as well.
Okay.
Now it's back to Brightwing, your turn. You can hear an orc just outside the tent slashing at Kif with a scimitar.
There's action and then also movement, right?
Yeah, so you can move and take an action, and your action can be to move again. And so your movement is listed on your character sheet, and that's the number of meters, and it's 2 meter squares. So Brightwing's movement is it 10 or 8? It's 10. So that's 5 squares that you could move, and if you move again, it would be 10 squares. Now, if you move away from an enemy, then normally you would have to make like a free evade roll just so they don't get a free attack on you. But you're inside the tent, so he can't see you right now, so you could easily move and he wouldn't attack you.
You know what? He's right here. I'm gonna try and hit him with my sword.
Perfect. So you can go right through the rear tent flap, lash at him with your sword. So if you want to target him, you can either hold down Alt and then click on that orc, or you can click on the token and push T, and it will target. It should either put like a bullseye or... Yep, there you go. Perfect. And then click on your sword.
And then... like in my inventory, click on your sword?
Should be on your main page. If you want, you can pull up there's a HUD, a heads-up display that you can use as well. I think if you click on your token, it opens the HUD, or you right-click it, and on the upper left, there's...
Yeah, I've got it.
All right, 2 cross swords. Then it'll ask if there's boons or banes, and there will be no boons or banes on this one. Oh, a dragon. So you can either deal double weapon damage, or you could bypass his... I don't know why it's not giving you the choice to bypass armor. He's got armor. Yeah, he's got studded leather. You can either bypass his armor, or you can do double weapon damage. It's probably better to do double weapon damage. So then you can just hit the roll damage on the chat bar. And that would make sense. You're flying through this little tent flap, maybe sticking him in the back. That might finish him off.
Damn, nice.
Oh, Brightwing. Okay. That duck has claws.
And, haven't seen that. I'm getting just spattered with the blood a little. I'm gonna shoot out the other way.
Nice. And then it is Aurelius. Your turn.
Little squire duck.
Would that work? Would if Reginald helps Aurelius put his armor on, could that, like, at the end of this turn, could Aurelius then take his turn with armor?
So there's no rules for that. I definitely think that you could if you were helping. It would take less time, but it still would probably take a couple of rounds to get it on. So I don't know that that's feasible.
At the very least, he could, like, stuff my helmet on, maybe.
Yeah, you could for sure get your helmet on.
Because I wasn't going to put any armor on at all. If, at the very least, I can get a helmet on without acting my action, I would definitely do that.
So,
Also, I was like, I don't really know where to move right now, so going last would be good, really.
do you want to switch?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay. Let me swap with Reginald.
So if Reginald can't get all of his armor, could he maybe have like half his armor value, so like 4 armor?
I think you could for sure get his helmet on him. Because it just takes like 10 minutes to get your armor on. I don't think you could do it in, like, a round is 10 seconds. I don't think you could quite do that in a round. I think you could for sure get his helmet on his head so that he would have that when he goes into battle. I mean, I guess you could also hand him his shield so that he's ready to go. Because he's not going to go to sleep with his shield. He'd have his sword and shield nearby, but just you assisting him would, I think, just get his helmet on. I like the idea, though.
Yeah, let's do that.
In fact, I would say, so his plate armor consists of like a breastplate. I would say you could at least get the breastplate on, and that would give him like 2 points of armor. I think we could do that because you're just putting it over him and then like snapping it in place. So I think that's doable. Is that what you want to do with your action?
Yeah, that's what Reginald will do.
Okay. Wolfie's turn. What does Fang have up his sleeve?
Sick.
He doesn't have sleeves.
So nothing, just fur. Oh,
Damn.
nice.
Ferocious attack.
How does Fang take out this orc?
Well, he just bites him in the leg and starts shaking his head violently.
Nice. And then runs into the woods.
And then gets ready for his next surprise attack.
Nice. Orc warrior. He sees a target of opportunity.
Oh, that's messed up.
And he
Failed.
missed.
Nice.
Oh, man.
He did try to burst into the tent.
He did.
Yeah.
Let's see. Scimitar coming out at Kif. That is a hit, and Kif cannot block or parry because you've already taken your action.
Mhm.
Ooh. Let me assign that. Oh, that says it's on Reginald. It's not on Reginald. It's on Kif. Let me assign that damage. Shoot. And you've got... How much armor do you have right now?
I have the leather and a horned helm on right
So
now.
that's 2 points.
Yep.
Okay. You drop to 0.
Yep.
Let me put that there. You fall prone. Let me adjust that, and you are dying.
Well, now you've put me in a real rock on a hard place.
What is Aurelius to do? Can't save both ducks.
Another whiff.
At least they've given me that.
Wow.
At the very least, they
Wow.
both failed their attacks.
Aurelius, your turn.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I mean, I have to swing at this guy because I don't really want to give him a free attack.
Right.
I'm gonna accept my sword from the ducks. shaking, I don't know, hands. He is a duck.
Yep. His wing. Although he's anthropomorphic, I think he's probably got some sort of hand.
Because I know the cat people just have regular hands. Oh!
Okay.
Beautiful.
Now,
mad. Yeah.
Let's see. I think you probably just beheaded him. Wow. Okay. How do you take out this orc?
Yeah, I mean, oh, you love to see it. Yeah, I love that blood.
Oh, isn't that so cool? That's one of my favorite new mods.
It's so good. You know, in my mind, it was hard to visualize without knowing quite what, but like in his wing, it's like proffered my greatsword, so I just whip it out of its sheath and I just whack him with it, and it just happens to hit him in the perfect spot and just annihilates him.
You can move if you like, and then we'll go to the next round.
I will do that.
Alright, it's going to... maybe, is it going to draw a card? Yep, it's slowly drawing cards. I think, is it drawing? Okay, why did it not? Okay, Kif is up first. You have two choices. You can rally yourself, which means you'll get back up on your feet. You're still at 0 hit points and still dying, but then you can take actions in the next round. If you want to do that, that's a will roll with a Bane to rally yourself, or you can just make a death saving throw. If you are rallied...
Could Kif also just switch with like Aurelius, and then Reginald could get down and heal Kif?
Yes.
Before they have to make a death save.
Yep.
Yeah, I have surgical instruments, so I can do it with a boon, I think. So I can switch with him.
So let's switch with Aurelius. That will put you clear at the bottom, so you'll be the last one to have to make this roll. Because if you get a dragon, that's 2 fails, and if you take any damage, that counts as a fail as well. So Aurelius, you are up first.
Brightwing goes right after me, so it works out pretty good.
Nice. Sheesh. Who needs armor? And then
Alright, I will walk over here. And then, is there like a thing for it? Or should I just roll a healing roll?
So you can do a healing roll. If you have bandages, you don't get a Bane. If you don't have bandages, there's a Bane on that roll. If you have surgical,
I have surgical instruments.
So that will also take away the Bane. So it will be just a straight roll.
Yeah. Alright. Let's give this a try.
Yeah, so there's a HUD, heads up display you can use, and it has like all your attacks, spells. There's also a first aid one on there. If you guys ever want to use the HUD, I love it. I use it all the time. I know that Reese does as well. If in combat, if you right click on your token, there's like 2 crossed swords on the upper left. I think that opens your HUD. I think you can also do Shift A, I think opens your HUD, and then it has like buttons for all the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Alright, and then is there it's first aid, that's the one probably need, right?
Yep.
Yeah, alright.
And it may ask you if you have your surgical instruments equipped, I think it will like automatically do the boon on that. Or get rid of the Bane.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's giving a boon. We'll see what happens.
Perfect.
Roll.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. So, Kif is no longer down and dying, and Kif is going to recover 1d6 hit points. Let's see how many. I will go ahead and roll this. Four. So you cauterize, a wound with maybe a hot poker out of the fire. do what you can to maybe apply a tourniquet, get Kif as relaxed as possible, and Kif, you recover some hit points. Reginald, there is still one orc left.
Yeah, I think Reginald will come up next to
Right.
his fellow duck and sling a stone at this orc. He's still a little frightened, especially seeing orcs, so it goes a little wide, but did his best.
Yeah. Fang, your turn.
Nice.
Oh, excellent. Drop some damage on there. Sweet. The Orc Warrior is going to go after the mighty Aurelius. Sees that as
Reasonable
the
choice.
biggest threat, the biggest challenge. Yep, and Fang makes the evade roll. Excellent. The orc swings his scimitar down low, trying to disembowel you just below the breastplate. And that is a hit. Do you want to? Let's see, you've already acted.
I killed that guy above me.
It's not bad.
Yeah, that's 5 damage with
Yep,
my
go ahead.
partial armor.
I'll let you give yourself the 5 damage.
Yeah.
And then the orc is going to disengage. He's going to have to make an evade roll.
You better fail that. Oh,
He does.
he's not nimble.
So both Kif and Aurelius will get an attack on him. Kif, I'll let
He's
you
got to
go
be done
first.
between turns. Oh, sorry. Oh, good.
No.
Well,
It's
no, it
okay.
worked out perfectly. Agreed.
So yeah, you try to throw your sword at him. Oh, does he pick up your greatsword and run with it? No, I don't think so. He
That
likes
would be
his
funny.
scimitar. That would be terrible.
Well, it depends on whether Kif's attack goes off, right?
Right.
Yeah. He's got a chance.
I got some weird pop-up come up. Hold on.
Aurelius
Get
has
rid
a
of
lot
this.
of weapons. He's not worried.
Alright. So I just click on the sword, right?
Yep.
Okay. For whatever reason, when I did it from the HUD, it came up with some weird pop-up. I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, nice. That is perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, beautiful.
That might be the first one I've had.
That is spectacular.
That is cinematic as hell.
As this orc tries to leave after the others have dropped you, you rise to your feet, slash him across the back. How do you kill this last orc?
Oh, it could, because he was trying to run. As I stood up and I saw him trying to make that run, I literally just, almost like with a fencer's precision, just kind of slashed across the back of his neck to try to take his head off.
Nice. And you nearly sever. It's just held on by a little bit of skin and sinew, but his head lolls forward and he hits the ground. The battle is over. Reginald, you are aghast at the amounts of blood that have gotten in your tent, on your tent.
Yeah, Reginald's gonna first just go and open up his little chest that he keeps his books in and make sure that no blood got on any of his books.
Thankfully, your books look okay. Good thing they didn't come with fire. The rest of the night will pass uneventfully. If anyone needs to rest, that hasn't rested, you can go ahead and do that. Is anyone else going to keep watch for the last half of the evening?
Aurelius
before
rested
we
me first,
do,
so he would volunteer for watch. Certainly.
Yeah, Lariana and Fang will keep watch this one.
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Reginald,
you
give
get
me a
all
spot
HP
hidden.
back from the restaurant.
Hell yeah.
Put a spot hidden from Reginald.
Pull out my little magnifying glass and take a
Oh.
closer look.
Oh.
What?
Well, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Let's not do a secret.
In his boot, there's a
There we
key,
go.
and over here, there's a door. Look.
There's a rusty nail. Hidden treasure.
Nice.
Oh, a golden amulet. So the last one that fell, he had this around his neck. This
I'm
amulet.
playing
And
for Reginald.
this is worth an incredible amount of money. Let's roll to see how much money. It's this times 5.
Oh,
Nice. So 50 gold for this golden amulet.
Brandon, what were they armed with?
So they had scimitars, and they have studded leather armor, and that's it. So if
Can
you
you
want,
sleep in studded leather armor?
you cannot.
No. Okay.
What is? There's
I
a
think-
penalty for wearing armor, right?
oh yeah, and it goes with each different level armor has a different penalty.
Oh, on sneaking rolls.
Yeah,
Like plate armor
sneaking
has
or
three,
like
yeah.
evade or acrobatics. Like you get different banes on those, and helms give you banes
for
on
helm, yeah.
like bows and crossbows
That's-
or awareness.
That's why, yeah, because my awareness is 5, but with the helmet, it's a bane on that. That's
Right?
why I took
It's
it
like
off.
a 2.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I
I
took it
remember,
off
yeah.
to do to hopefully get a decent roll. But
Oh, nice. So besides that golden amulet that Reginald found, there are scimitars if anyone wants one, or if you want some studded leather that smells like orc, you're welcome to that as well.
so
Okay,
scimitar just
pile
counts
it
as a sword, right?
Right.
We pile it into the
And the
wagon and sell it back down.
We sure can.
I assume we put the tent over here, right?
You know, I will take one of the. Does it count as like a? Is it classed as like a short sword or whatever?
I think it's
It's
as
just a
a
sword,
regular
right?
sword.
Yeah, scimitar is its own item. Yeah.
Let
Its
me-
own thing, yeah.
I
So
can put one on your character sheet, and you can see kind of what it says here.
yeah, I'm gonna take one. It looks like it gives more damage.
Yeah, I think it's 2d6 damage.
My bright one was so successful in that battle that he's kind of bloodthirsty now. And he's grabbing the scimitar and kind of waving it around.
Oh, it does toppling. I was like, what's the difference between a scimitar and a broadsword? But the scimitar does toppling damage.
So toppling, that's an optional. So when you go to click on it, it'll bring up either boons, banes, or you stabbing, parrying, or there's toppling. And so if you want to try and knock someone over when they're prone, they anyone that attacks them gets a boon plus does an additional 1d6. So it's very helpful to knock people over because then you can kill them in short order. And so the scimitar will let you do that toppling attack. And if you do a toppling attack, you make your attack roll, and if you succeed, the opponent has to make an evade roll, and if they succeed, then you don't knock them over, but if they fail, then you've knocked them prone. And then, like, if you're at the top of the initiative order, then all of your allies get like boons plus extra damage to attack them, so it can be super useful.
Yeah, I'll pick that up. And then, I'm gonna grab some of this armor as well. Just try it out. I haven't had to sneak very much.
Yeah,
I'm not very good at it anyway, so.
let me throw some onto your character sheet. It does smell a little bit like orc, but I think Reginald has some perfume if you need to spray some in there.
Yeah, he'll probably spray some perfume once we've moved the tent away from the battle site so that it doesn't get any more orc blood on it.
There. So now you've got studded leather armor, which just gives you a bane on sneaking. But it will absorb 2 points of damage from every attack that hits you.
You smell like perfumed orc.
Which, it's like old lady. Who doesn't want to smell like that? The rest of the evening passes uneventfully, and the Illyriana is keeping watch. You know that the temple has to be nearby, but you do not see that light that Garf was talking about. That you should have seen to the west. There is no light to show the location of the temple. You think maybe Garf was wrong, or maybe he led you astray. But by dawn, as you head westwards, before long you can see the temple beginning to rise up in front of you, and it is a much a good feeling, a much appreciated sight to see this bastion of light in this place of darkness. The temple of the morning sun. The ground slopes upwards and the trees start to thin out. As you get closer, you can see a round hill protected by a high stone wall, Around the hill are fields where residents of the temple grow food. You can see corn and other grains growing here. Within the walls, it looks to be about a dozen buildings, with the temple and its tall tower at the center. As you approach, there are two acolytes out front, and they look at you warily and then raise their hands in greeting and hold out their arms. Welcome to the Temple of the Morning Sun. And they bid you enter into the walls. When you arrive...
Oh, damn it. You said we were going to the House of the Rising Sun.
No, there is no animals here. It's the Temple of the Morning Sun. The Rising Sun, that's on the other side of town. As you enter the Temple of the Morning Sun, you are led into a large chapel where you see a wise older woman. This must be Druadriel. She is at prayers, and they bid you to wait until her prayers are finished. And once she rises, rubbing her creaky knees, she approaches and greets you with a warm smile. Come, my friends, have you come to worship the Sun Queen Askama?
Well,
Not
actually,
so much.
You are not pilgrims here?
Of a sort. We were told that you might be able to help us in a quest to stop the spread of this darkness.
Oh, this darkness is a terrible thing. This has been foretold. For once there were 3 suns that traversed the heavens in harmony. Their names were Nemak, Askama, and Roganok. Nemak and Askana fell in love, as we all know, and Roganok, driven mad by jealousy, murdered Nemak. For this misdeed, Roganok lost his radiance and became the moon. And the beautiful Askama wept with sorrow, and her tears were transformed into stones that fell upon the earth. Ever since, the Moon Lord Roganok has chased the Sun Queen Askama across the sky to try and regain his lost radiance, but he can never catch her. The fate of the world rests upon the outcome of their final confrontation. If Askama is victorious, the world will be transformed into a paradise free of sorrows and woe. If Roganok triumphs, the world will sink into darkness and despair, and everything in it will die. I am convinced that the Shadow Dragon is the herald of Roganok, who has come to the world to spread his message of darkness. But I'm afraid you are too late. I'm afraid the help I might have been able to offer you has been stolen from us. And she looks up into the rafters of the tower, and you see tears welling in her eyes.
You could have led with that.
That's why we didn't see the light.
Yes, there is something terrible has befallen. The theft of our most precious relic, the Sunstone. It has its place in the tower. The thief must have struck during the night. Have you seen or heard of its whereabouts?
Did anyone see the thief? Was there any clues left behind?
You are welcome to come and look, if you like. Let me show you where the stone resides. And she offers to take you up into a tall flight of stairs, into the tower.
Not telling you how to run your
Your security.
monastery or anything, but maybe giving tours to the most sacred relic you have. What do you think, Dad?
Yeah, we put a lock on the door now, but no, only
So much better.
Only I have the key. You see, how they must have scaled the tower, those wily thieves. Come and look, and up at the top of the tower you can see a pedestal where this sunstone, roughly the size of like a watermelon, would have sat, and it's not there. There's just nothing.
Can I check the lock to see if it's been picked?
Yeah, give
me
a spot hidden roll.
Scratches or whatever.
And yes, Brave Duck, we did look under things, because usually when I lose something, it's under something, but I did not see it. Illyriana, you really go over that lock, and in fact, maybe you ask Reginald for his little magnifying glass, and you see that there is no sign of disturbance. There are no scratches, there's no compounds that have been put into the lock, any acids or anything. It looks as though the lock has been untampered with.
And you have the only key?
I have the only key, and she holds it up. It's on a chain around
And
her neck.
and you didn't have any strange dreams, possessed by demons or dragons?
I did have a dream of...
Do you sleepwalk?
That I do not. I do not walk at night. No, I walk only during the light of the day. I spend the evenings dreaming of the day that Ascana returns and brings peace unto the world. But some of my fellow priests said that they saw a light in the forest last night. Perhaps it was the sunstone making its way into the woods in the arms of a thief.
And did you chase them?
We do not venture outside of our walls at night. We trust that it will be returned when they realize what has happened.
Yeah, go with that.
Yes, so far it has not failed us. Of course, it has not succeeded either, but it has yet to fail us.
Will you open the door so we can look inside and see if there's any other clues?
Yes, absolutely. The direction, Brave Duck, that the light was headed, it was headed to the southwest, almost in a line that bisects the east and the south, or excuse me, the west and the south, 45-degree angle, as the mathematicians would say, from here. She unlocks the door and takes you up into that room of the tower. And Brightwing, give me an awareness roll.
I'm gonna push that.
Reginald can give Brightwing his magnifying glass. I think does that give a boon on awareness as well?
It's just spot hidden.
Or it might just be spot hidden.
Let's go. Oh, see.
Oh, that was on a dragon and then rolled off. You're not sure what to expect up here, but there are windows, but they're not covered with glass. They're open to the air. Nothing's been broken to get in here, and the tower's quite tall, 50, 60 feet, and the windows are small. If she describes this sunstone as being the size of a watermelon, it could scarcely fit through the window without, it'd probably take a little work to get it through the window if it came out that way.
Shall we take a closer look at the windows, everyone, and see if we can find footprints or examples of rope use?
Yeah, Reginald, maybe give me a spot hidden with your magnifying glass.
I just want to look around and see if there's any other ways out.
So, Reginald, you see that there are no scrape marks of like a grappling hook that may have been hurled up through a window. There's no fibers of rope along the stony edge of the window, but there are a few bits of sooty ash that you can see on the tops of the windows, and a little bit of sooty ash on the pedestal where this sunstone once resided. And you can wipe it off with your fingers. It comes right off. It's just a very fine little film of dark ash.
I make a beast lore roll. Perhaps this is some sort of creature I've heard of.
Yes.
I will pull out my little Flora and Fauna of the Misty Vale
If you
booklet
get a dragon, I will tell you exactly what it is. Nope. So you know that it is a creature that likely can fly, because there are no signs of how it got up here. The lock was not tampered with. There's no signs of rope or anything, so your only conclusion is that it must have flown. It must have the power of flight. And then it either had a torch or some sort of flame, like a light source or something that would have left that soot. But exactly what it was, you're not sure. But yes, Reginald, you think that it could have been a very small dragon, perhaps.
I mean, if the sunstone gives off light, then they wouldn't need the torch, right?
Exactly. That would be a correct
So,
assumption.
so that wouldn't be from a torch. That would be from something else. Can I figure out what beasts leave sooty
Yeah,
paths
give me
behind?
a beast lore roll.
Beavers.
Beavers on fire is probably what it was.
Yeah.
So Reginald suggests that perhaps it was a salamander, one of those elemental beings of fire. And Illyriana, you think that perhaps he is on the right track, that perhaps it was some sort of elemental creature from the fire realm, or something that had fire about its person. But certainly it
Oh,
was something that could fly, was small, and perhaps ablaze.
flying flaming beavers. Got it.
Exactly.
We should be able to follow the trail of the burnt earth or burnt leaves or whatever into the woods then.
Yes, and you have a direction. And even better is that Drew Adriel says, I can assist you with a map. And she presents you with a map of the Vidden Mark. Let me activate it.
To where?
Oh, that's right. Morgulana mentioned that you might have a map for us.
Can you all see this map? Hopefully I have the token vision turned off.
Yep.
And you can see the Temple of the Morning Sun should be indicated, kind of up towards the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the
Yeah.
bottom you'll see Nordrose and like the Toll House and all that good stuff. Perfect. So this is your map. So from here, it sounds like the whatever the creature that took it, they said the light seemed to be going kind of to the southwest direction.
The light.
Very possibly.
Do you think it was near this body of water over here, this little lake?
Oh, it is very possible. I do not know who took it, but I would suspect that that is indeed what has happened. But there are rumors circulating around the temple about what may have happened. I suspect that it is probably the troll Yagak, who lives in Boar's abandoned silver mine. I think he's behind the theft. The Troll's clan has been planning to attack the temple, and now without the Sunstone, we are defenseless. And then one of the acolytes that is here says, oh, begging your pardon, but I believe it is the cunning wizard Longstride who has stolen the Sunstone. He is always on the lookout for lost artifacts to use in his magical experiments. To which Duradriel says, bah, no. Surely it was Yagak who took this.
Do trolls generally hang out with salamanders? Or
I do
or-
not know
or-
who trolls hang out with, but I would not put it past them to resort to any sort of cunning. Perhaps a troll wizard may have summoned it.
What did you say this troll's name was?
Yagak, Y-A-G-A-K.
And they are from the silver mines?
Yes, the Boar's silver mine. There at the foot of the mountains to the north.
But you saw the light southwest.
I did. Perhaps he is merely making us think he went south when really he circled around and went north.
I see. And this wizard from the other rumor.
Oh,
I
yes.
turned to the other person.
Longstride, yes. I would not pay much credence to that. And the acolyte says, well, the wizard, there's rumors that the wizard is on the search for something that will grant eternal life. I think perhaps that may be what has happened there.
I look to the others. Does anyone know who Longstride is?
I've never heard of him, but Acolyte, where did you say this wizard is living?
He's in the Wildwood. Where he lives, I do not know. It is said he has a place near water, but I do not know where exactly he lives. one thing I do know, that somewhere in the wildwood is a glade of luminous mushrooms, and anyone who stands in the midst of the mushrooms and claps 5 times will be transported to a kingdom of riches. And Triadril says, "Oh, okay, get back to your studies." And she, "Forgive me, my acolytes are most exuberant. Do not
I
believe
think
everything you hear."
I think that's the second dumbest story I've heard today.
Well, I've also heard that at the western end of the Black Mountains there's a high mountain plateau, and anyone brave enough to throw themselves over the edge of the cliff will have a wish granted by the gods. Truly madness.
Uh-huh. I say we go toward southwest.
I agree, but out of curiosity, would you point where the silver mine is for Yagak?
The silver mine. Oh, if you go back the way you came, take the road.
Is it not on this map?
It is on the map. She kind of points, go back the way you came, and then take the next left, and it's right up here in the middle of the mountains.
I see.
Right there. That would be the silver mine. In fact, she will offer to mark it on your map. Let me get my little tool out here, and I can make that visible. There.
And you said further along the path is that plateau to throw yourself off of?
Oh, that is further down to the south, near where you came, near the toll house. There is in the Black Mountains. There's a cliff that people say you could hurl yourself from, and the gods will grant you a wish. But
Interesting.
if you believe that, I have beachfront property I'd like to sell you as well.
Well, looking at the map here, I think at the end of the first fork, I think we thought the Wolverine was maybe staying there. But if the wizard isn't there, then there's this other little house mapped on the
Wolverine. Have you had a run-in with the Wolverine?
Oh, yes, we have. Do you know of her?
Yes, indeed. It is said that the bandit leader known as the Little Wolverine has stolen the Sunstone. I've heard a few people mention that she wants revenge on us for our refusal to pay protection money. I could see her.
You seem to hear a lot of things, Archon.
Sorry, what was that?
You seem to hear a lot of things, Archon. I thought a few minutes ago you'd heard about Yagak.
I believe it is Yagak, but I've got others that think, no, it's Longstride, or no, it's Little Wolverine. They just don't want to go after the trolls, because they don't want to believe that we are defenseless. And I don't mind telling you that without that Sunstone, there's nothing to keep the darkness at bay. Will you stay and protect us?
I think your best protection, unless you have another Sunstone, is for us to get the Sunstone back as quickly as possible. I look to the others to see if they agree or not.
That sounds right to me. This is like the morning, right, that we got here?
Yes.
Yeah.
You are not the only one that has come here to try to stop the dragon. Have you met Roderick downstairs? He's probably eating our stores of food.
Roderick?
Roderick Redbeard. Yes, he and his companions. They claim they'll be the ones to kill the dragon. When I told them about the Sunstone, they just laughed and said they intend to kill the dragon the good old-fashioned way.
Well, good luck to them.
Yeah, they wouldn't stay and protect us either. Perhaps you can talk some sense into Roderick, and maybe he can stay and watch over the temple while you go and find what has been stolen from us.
I'm just curious, which way is the dragon? We were told it was in the Cave of Echoes. Is that further along past the mine?
It is not past the mine. It is to the west. There is a path up into the mountains called the Skeleton Path. Through that path you will find the Cave of Echoes.
Oh, I see. Well, perhaps we can go talk to Reginald and see if he can stick around for a day before going on to the Cave of Echoes. And then meanwhile, we can try and retrieve the Sunstone.
Yes, if you can get Roderick to stay, that would be a great boon to us
So,
indeed, because I fear that at the fall of night we will be overcome. In fact, look now, and already you see the darkness spreading over the Jotun Mountains. And give me 1 second, I'm going to drop some fog of war on the map here. And I'm hoping that this does not totally obscure the map. Let me just add a little bit of fog here. Hopefully that just kind of grays it a little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Perfect. Let me do another swipe here. So this is where the darkness has already spread by day 1.
Oh, you mean not natural darkness, but creeping darkness?
Yep. This is the creeping darkness where it has traveled already, and it looks as though it's moving slowly but inexorably southward.
Allow us a moment to confer with each other. So, I agree. I mean, it seems like our best bet is south and west. It sounds like that. I forget who said it earlier.
The Acolyte. Yes.
Oh, not the Acolyte, but on our side. One of our group was thinking the same thing.
Yes. And
Well, I think they saw the in the night it disappeared. They saw the Sunstone in the forest to the south and west. I think
They saw a light. I don't know if they saw the Sunstone, but
yeah.
What happens to these guys if Roderick doesn't stay to help them?
Well, there's a good chance they'll be overrun. You were attacked not far from here by orcs. They're clearly emboldened by the spread of darkness.
Yeah. Do you guys want to go ahead and let's talk to Roderick?
He sounds like a glory-seeking sort, saying we're just gonna go kill it the old-fashioned way, but maybe we'll convince him. Who knows?
You see Roderick sitting outside of the temple, holding his sword. He's actually twirling his mustache. He's got a little bit of beeswax. He's getting the ends nice and curled. And he sees Sir Aurelius, and he rises up. Oh, another brave hero. You leave the dragon to me, little one. I'll take care of it. Perhaps you can go and find some mosquitoes or something to swat away. Him and his chums kind of laugh at each other. And they're look to be loading up gear in some packs as they get ready to head out.
I'm going to step forward and I'm going to say to Roderick that, that's been a long journey and maybe he should just stick around for a day and eat plenty and gather his strength and then set out the following morning.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Okay.
I could definitely stand another meal. The dragon ain't going anywheres. We could leave tomorrow, lads. What do you say? And his fellows kind of look a little bit dejected, but then they kind of sniff the air. They can smell already lunch is being prepared, and they nod. Yes, one more day. So you've bought the Temple of the Morning Sun another day.
We'll step away from them just to kind of confer with each other. Everyone else, I think we should probably make haste and see if we can't head southwest and investigate.
Now, if you're taking the cart, it's going to be a little difficult to get the cart through the woods. The going will be slow. You'll be able to do it, but it will be much slower.
We can probably leave it at the temple, right?
Or you can leave the cart at the temple. That will mean Reginald will actually have to walk. He'll have to expend some energy.
We gotta use our legs.
Yep. Can someone carry Reginald? Like get a litter or a palanquin and just march him around.
Yeah. Can Priestess Bright Eyes here provide me with some bandages so I can heal people if I need to?
Oh, yes, of course, of course. Let me grab you some bandages.
Great idea.
Could Reginald just ride on Fang?
No.
His poor back.
I'm not sure they
Fang's
would support
poor back.
Reginald. He's kind of plump, but
Fang's like,
Does the acolyte with the who seemed to know about the wizard and all that? Does he have any, or anyone here have any dangers they know of that we should watch out for to the southwest?
Yeah, if you want to pull that one aside that was talking about the wizard, you can definitely ask a few questions. You ask about the wizard. Let me pull up something here. They say the wizard Longstride. He has oft lived in the Wildwood, and rumor has it that something happened to his lady wife, and he has gotten, shall we say, impatient since then. We have not seen her in quite some time. Whether she is alive or dead, we do not know, but some say that perhaps his experiments went awry, and she suffered the brunt of it. Be wary of Longstride. I do not trust him. What are you intuiting, Reginald?
Reginald wants to use his intuition to determine what would be the most likely person to have stolen this stone and where they would most likely have gone.
Well, the most likely answer is probably the simplest answer, which would be that the stone has gone to the southwest, the direction that they saw it last leaving. That it was most likely it was stolen by someone small, maybe the little Wolverine and the bandits would probably be the most likely. Even though you didn't find signs of them scaling, maybe they used magic or something to get up there. Maybe, you know, that may be the most likely. You don't think it was the troll. The troll, how it would have gotten up here, it would have required magic. So whether the troll is more likely to get it or the little Wolverine, you don't know. Probably the little Wolverine, but you cannot discount Longstride as well. He is known to be magical, and perhaps this stone was something he needed for his experiments. But you think to head north would be the wrong direction. You think your best leads are probably to the southwest, either to that lake you can see on the map, or they said that Longstride lives to the southwest as well. How far southwest, you do not know. You see there's a few buildings on your map. Could be any of those.
I guess if we just head in that
that's
direction,
Reginald
we
is
can...
going to suggest this to the party.
Yeah, I
Well,
can't disagree with that logic, Reginald.
and it is all kind of in the same direction. We could try the lake first, and if that doesn't work, we can try this. I don't know what this is. This little tower that
Yeah, the
I think is
bad
along the
news.
path where we saw the Wolverine.
The bad news is that you're heading
Thing.
away from the dragon, but without the sunstone, what's the point? You need to find that first.
Yeah.
So you could do like the big counterclockwise loop around the forest and hit all those spots, or you could kind of, pick and choose as you go. You think your best bet's probably going to be to head to the southwest, either to that lake, or maybe that tower, or continuing on further southward.
On foot, do we have an idea of how long it might take to get to that lake?
To that lake, it may take you most of a day to get there.
Okay. What do you guys think? Should we get going?
Yeah, it sounds like at least we've got the right idea. I mean, I would assume the lake's closest. That would be the one we'd go to first if we're on foot, but...
Yeah, I'm good with that. May I part it, or may I beg, or I could even give some coin if necessary. to the Temple of the Morning Sun in return for some extra rations to carry?
They would happily make that trade. They have ample food for their needs and for that of others. They bid you to keep the coin, to return the Sunstone. They would reward you amply, and the least they could do is feed you. And besides, they say, Roderick has eaten more than his fair share. We would rather feed those who will go after the Sunstone. So let me grab you some rations. In fact, if you have rations on your character sheet, if anyone wants to bump that up to 5, you can bump it up as they load you down.
So I have 4 on me right now.
Yeah, so you could just add 1 more. So if you click on field
Okay.
ration, there will be quantity. Just change that to 5.
Okay.
And if everyone wants to stock that up, then you've got at least 5 days worth of rations.
And I had turned to the Archon and I mentioned that Morgana told us that the only way to defeat the dragon was the Sunstone. Is that really true? There's no other way without the Sunstone?
It is said that light will defeat darkness, that Escama will defeat the terrible moon. The sun will win out, so surely with the Sunstone in hand, that is how you would overcome the darkness. I do believe this to be true.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yes, absolutely. I believe that is the correct interpretation of the prophecy.
All right. I'm ready when you guys are.
Good.
Head out into the woods.
Yeah, as long as Archon points us at, roundabout where the light was, and we'll just head in that direction, I guess.
Let's do a bushcraft roll. Now that you have a map, that gives you a boon, and then you get a boon from the spyglass as well. Make it a little bit easier.
Reginald, if you will.
Book too. Yeah.
Excellent. Does anyone...
Certainly, and I will reference my little book and the map, and have no trouble finding my way to through the woods.
Let me just make a quick roll on the random event table here. That's not the one. No, can't do that one. Oh, perfect. That one will do. Okay, as the afternoon, as the sun begins to fade towards the west, trudging through the woods, it's difficult. It's thick in areas, and other areas there are no paths, but faint animal trails and some rock falls make it difficult to get around areas. It's not a straight point, but your heart is full as you know that you are on the right path, or at least you believe that to be true. As it nears about an hour before supper time, you see someone approaching at a rapid pace.
Oh.
He greets you with a bow and introduces himself as Longstride. I serve the goddess of virtue and help any who are in need in the wildwood. Tell me, friends, have you need?
I'm gonna roll for... Right Wing is immediately suspicious.
Yeah.
And immediately wants to check this guy out.
You can give me
Yes, we do. We have need.
I have healing. I can treat wounds. I can heal wounds.
Do you have a sunstone?
What is a sunstone? You mean that silly rock atop the tower to the northeast? I do not have.
Used to be there.
I've used to be there. What do you mean?
Someone stole it?
Who would have done such a thing?
There are people who think it's you.
Oh, there are people that misunderstand magic. They think that I am dabbling in the power of the gods, but Is there not a god of magic? Perhaps you know not
I
of
don't
such
know.
things.
True.
I can tell you.
Uh,
I can tell you something
does
though.
does it involve a love triangle and an eternal chase around the world?
It's more of a trapezoid, but that's the general gist of it. There is an unseen god that only those of us that dabble in the magical arts can see, and we worship them
Does that
as
mean
much as the temple worships the sun.
does that mean the other gods can be seen?
Well, given the right sort of sight, perhaps you can. Can you not see that great ball of fire up in the sky? The people in the temple think that that is the personification of their god. They think that is actually the god, when I know it is not but a great fireball that burns evermore up in the sky, fed by
And
the
there's
fed by the
some
flame of
and there's
dragons.
some and there's someone out there that knows that your unseen god is nothing but uh, a fart in the wind.
They only
Anyway,
suspect they are a fart in the wind. But for those of us with the sight, we see the very skid mark of that god and know that they are real.
excellent. So we need the Sunstone in order to beat the dragon back. And if you have, it'd be really nice if you let us borrow it.
If I'm being honest, I know nothing of what has happened to the Sunstone. I also have not heard of Hercarax, this dragon. You're the first to speak of it. I know there is a darkness spreading, but Dragon?
I don't know that we have mentioned the dragon's name.
That's if you're being honest. I don't know. Are you being honest?
Well, of course. Why would I beguile you? Give me an awareness roll. In fact, was it Brightwing that was being extra suspicious? You can give me an awareness roll
Yeah.
with a boon. You both sense that he's a little bit silly, a little bit eccentric, but he does not lie. He is not speaking mistruths to you. It seems as though his concerns are not of mundane things like dragons and sunstones, but that he has a higher purpose. He tells you that his goal is to heal the afflicted and to try and find those who need his healing aid. I have found a recipe for an elixir so powerful it may cause missing body parts to regrow. However, to brew this, I need to find a large number of rare ingredients, including the fruit of the ambergold tree. If I could find the fruit of the ambergold tree, I could surely do much good here in the woods.
The ambergold tree.
Yes.
Is that not the tree that Garf had mentioned?
Garv. That wolf man. I've seen him around. What does he know of it?
I having trouble recalling. I looked to the rest. Didn't he say something about healing magic from the fruit of a tree?
Yes, he said there was a tree to the west that had a. He said I thought he said something about an island in a lake.
I know this
And
lake.
then-
I know this island. Is that where the amber gold apples are found? Oh, and you see his eyes light up with excitement. I can share something with you for having shared something with me. Do not trust the fairies in this wood. They perform wondrous dances over the lakes. They love to play wicked pranks.
That is interesting advice. I don't suppose you've run into any other people in these woods recently.
I have, actually, the Warg sisters. You should do well to steer clear of them. The Warg sisters they are no good. They are definitely to be avoided. Olwa, Illa, and Ulfa. They are goblins riding wargs. They work at the behest of Yagak the troll. They are trying to find the best way to lay siege to the towns to the south. I have done what I can to prevent them from finding those paths, but my magic can only do so much.
May I ask you something?
Yes.
We've been told that the Sunstone is the best way to beat this dragon, Hercarax. Do you know of another way?
Dragon lore is not my specialty, but the tales tell that dragons do have a weakness. If this were indeed a dragon made of darkness, it would seem that light would be the weakness. But I have never heard of a dragon that could not be slain with cold steel, wielded by a true heart and a firm hand. And he looks at Kif and Aurelius and Illyriana. Surely you might fit that bill. And then he looks at the two ducks. Your bills, perhaps not. But your strengths lie elsewhere. Much like mine, it is in learning, in books, in lore, and wisdom. Let your wisdom be your weapon against this dragon.
Don't sell them short. That is Brightwing the Bloodthirsty there.
Ah, and I see this Reginald fellow, that toast knife. If the dragon were made of butter, surely you would vanquish him with no difficulties.
Aye, this is true, of course. I am very good with my little toast knife.
If you have need of my healing, I have a home to the south, a cabin in the woods at the southwest. I cannot believe I have not searched the island, for the lake is very near to my home. I must return there at once and find these amber gold apples. But if you have
we're
need
sort
of
of
my
heading in-
healing, yes, come
We're
visit
sort of
me.
heading in the same direction here. Should we just travel together?
Well, yes, of course. Let me see your map.
Have you-
Do you hand your map over to him?
Yeah, I
holding
think
the
Reginald probably had the map, so he probably would hand it over.
My home is down here, and he marks a spot on the map, the little red cabin down there at the bottom. Oh, pink. Come on, it's pink. Right there.
Okay.
That is my home. I am headed to the south. Are you coming with me, or where will your journey take you?
Well, we were told that the Sunstone was stolen and possibly a light was in the woods making its way southwest of the temple. We thought that maybe the lake was the direction this was going, and that is the path we are following now.
You mean the Little Mere Lake? This one here, and he points at your map and says this little lake here called Little Mere. That may be where it was headed. Those fairies I told you about?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you'll find them. Tricksters they are.
Any defense against them?
Well, don't believe anything they say. They speak more lies than truth. But perhaps, if you can do them a favor, perhaps they can do one for you as well. But be warned, these are no ordinary fairies. These are alight with fire.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's where we will end the session.
Yeah.
Excellent.
To Littlemere we go.
So it sounds like the fire fairies live at Littlemere.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
We can go ahead and do some upgrades. Everyone can open their character sheet, and you can choose. In fact, I can get you. Let's go to the main page here. I think I've already got your tokens out. Might make it a little easier. You can open your sheet. You can choose 5 skills that do not already have the little upgrade arrow next to them. for getting dragons or demons. You can select 5 additional ones and then just left click on the arrow and it will roll your updates. And we can go ahead and do this one at a time so we can all enjoy the rolls here to see if we can get some improvements. Let's start with Brightwing. Do you understand how to do it?
Yeah, I'm choosing my...
Perfect. And then your objective when you do these updates or upgrades is you want to roll above your score. If you roll above it, then it will improve by 1. And if you get any of your scores up to 18, you will get a free heroic ability.
Okay, let's choose one more. Let's go with healing. Okay. Right, here I go. Hey.
Nice. Excellent.
This is making up for the last
Yeah,
time.
right.
Seconds.
You're going to upgrade every single one of these.
I missed up one, but...
Oh, man.
Okay. Push still counts. Hit the other dice. All right. Oh, actually, I've got swords as well. Hey.
Nice. Well done. Excellent upgrades there. Let's go next to let's go to Illyriana, and then we'll do Kif after that.
Sure. Nope.
Oh, that's not good.
Nope. That one will increase.
There we go. Oh, sneaking up to 15. Very good. Bows went up. Excellent.
Nice.
And knives. All the good ones. There we go.
Should I do sword since I grabbed a scimitar?
Yes. Yep. I will throw one onto your character.
I already grabbed
Oh,
it.
you have one? Yep. Perfect. Perfect. All right. And then Kif is next. Ooh. Oh, that's not when we want it. Nice. Heck yeah.
And last one. Ah. All right.
Reginald. And then Sir Aurelius will be last. Excellent. Beastlord would have been nice. Hey, hey. Two demons and a dragon. Wow. And then Sir Aurelius.
Nice.
Excellent.
Oh, that one's good. Oh, very nice.
Oh, sweet. To 17. Ooh, one more, and you get the heroic ability. Excellent. Any questions about the session? About kind of what we're doing? What comes next?
Yeah, I was curious. The journal, is that where we would be taking notes, or is that?
Let me. Do I have a journal? I can make one for you for notes. I don't think we have one. Let me open one that's for. The creeping darkness here, and then you guys can keep notes there. Wow, I cannot spell. I've got a wireless keyboard, and I think the battery's getting low because it just does random letters when I type.
Got someone trust keyboard. They also do random letters.
Right. There we go. Creeping Darkness Journal. And let me make this, give everyone ownership so anyone can add to it. And I can make separate pages if you each want a separate page. So I can do a page for KIF.
Will it just show up? My page will just show up for me, or do I see?
I can make it so it just shows up for you, or I could make it observable for everyone else, but only you.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't care if everyone can see it. I just was curious if it is that way or not.
Yeah. So let me just get these different pages made here. So let me do ownership on this one.
And then we didn't really make camp, right? But I think it was just about to become supper time, I believe.
Right, right.
So are we just going to start off with a bushcraft roll in the next session, or are we just going to... Okay.
Yep, so we'll start right there, making camp. So there, you should have a journal. Can you access that under the Creeping Darkness Journal? And you should have one for you.
I can see that.
Perfect.
And then I see Sir Aurelius has one.
Yeah, I'll make one for him. I'll make one for everybody. And if you want to use this for notes, you can. If you want to ignore it, you can do that as well. This way everyone will have one. Reginald.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you much. I will see everyone again next Saturday, same time. Some of you I will see tomorrow for the Creeping Darkness. And have a great weekend, all. And I will get this video uploaded.
Is there another Creeping Darkness tomorrow?
Or sorry, Path of Glory tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, dang.
Wow.
Yeah, Path of Glory tomorrow, and then next Saturday will be another Creeping Darkness.